Hey Curious Connerys, Dylan here. I just want to give you a heads up that during the production of this week's episode, we had a few technical difficulties. And as a result, we had to pull some of the audio from the cameras rather than the microphones. You'll hear it. We wanted to preserve as much of the conversation for you as possible. And we only had our good friends Kris and Tara Hansen in the studio for a short amount of time, so we didn't want to lose any of it. Please forgive any audio-video inconsistencies. We're pretty sure we've got them all figured out for the next episode. With that being said, we'd also like to ask your forgiveness for the delay between episodes. We know it's been long. Both Mario and I have been busy with a number of new projects and jobs. But Connery Curious is as important to us as ever, and we're committed to bring you a new episode every other Sunday for the rest of our run. There's still quite a few films left on the Wheel of Curiosities. We've got a great list of guests lined up, and we hope you're having fun out there with us. Just a reminder that in the episode description, there are links to our social media pages, as well as a link to our Patreon, where you can find a number of bonus episodes and a few other fun features as well. And in return, you help keep the lights on here at the Connery Curious set at the Proving Ground. I've babbled long enough. Let's get to the episode. Stay curious, folks.
Connery Curious! Saga! Last Crusade! Who lived twice? And the Anderson tapes! Murder on the Orient Express! You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next! Marty and a woman of straw! And a wounded man in Africa! We are curious of the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another fun episode of Connery Curious, the podcast where we get together here and talk about all the films in the very delightful filmography of Sir Sean Connery. Dylan Titus.
Mario Lima.
How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing very well.
So it's
I feel like that's not the way we usually start it, but that's okay.
It's different because we have people here.
We do.
It's weird.
Let's cut to the other camera and have them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Kris Hansen.
And I'm Tara Hansen.
Woo.
No
Hey,
relation.
Hansons. Welcome to
Husband
Connery
and
Curious.
wife.
The first guest in the studio.
Yes.
Very exciting.
We've had many a guest that is an old friend, but never two old friends in the studio, in our new studio,
Yeah, so this
the
is
Proving Ground.
This studio is awesome.
Do you want to talk about your history in this studio?
I used to have a radio show on 990wbob.com, and we used to tape in this very area.
This exact room.
Yeah, well, it was the circular room, which
That
is
room.
yeah, just next door to this room.
Nice.
It's crazy. There was so
It was
much
good times.
I didn't realize there was so much history besides the school.
Besides
here,
it being a
like,
history room,
yeah,
literally.
Yeah, seriously, jeez.
This was my high school history room.
That's
I didn't specify.
insane.
So this was my
That's
math
amazing.
room, and that was my calculus
They always
room.
say you can't go home, buddy, but that's not true.
I moved in.
But,
But yeah.
We're very excited to be here and speaking about you, about Sean Connery with you.
Well, thank you. We're excited to have you guys here speaking about me to Sean Connery.
And the
Oh, yeah,
film
kill him.
choice this week was pretty special because Tara is a big fan of this film.
Yeah, I've loved this
And-
movie for many years. I've seen it many times.
In my whole entire life, I would have never sat down and watched this movie. It comes in a period of time when Sean Connery was not like the pinnacle. It was before Untouchables when he had that rejuvenation, and
He was
it's
touchable
about
at this
it's
point.
about a bunch of monks and stuff. And I just was
Yeah,
no
how
interest. But
exciting could Monks be?
Tara turned me on to this film, and I'm glad she did. And I'm happy to be here to talk about
Well,
it.
should we say the name of the film and
Sure.
how we stumbled across this film?
yeah, sure. The name of the film is The Name.
The name of the
film.
Rouge.
Oh wait, I mean the
The
name, of the Rose.
Rouge
Yes,
The
it's
name
a-
of the film is the name of the film is the name of the film is the,
Is the name of the Rose.
Exactly.
And a Rouge by any other smell.
Anyway,
But yeah, 1986. I did not know what to expect from this film at all.
how do we land on it for those who are just tuning
Of
into this
course,
podcast for the first
If
time?
you guys are just tuning in, we spin the wheel of curiosities each week to pick what the next film is. And last week we
can
got
see here the Wheel
Name
of
the Rose.
Curiosity.
There it is, which is getting very, very limited.
Small.
It's like 16 left after this film we're doing. So we're on the final stretch of the Connery library here. So I'm both sad and glad because I want to see some more of these films and, see where it ends up. We're saving...
Sir Billy is the
Sir
last
Billy
one.
was his final film he ever did. Was an animated film from
Are you aware
Scotland.
of this?
No.
Yes, it's a Scottish, the first fully made, produced in Scotland CGI animated film. 2012. It's the last film Connery ever did. He voice acts as the lead Sir Billy, and it looks awful.
We're planning to screen it here for the last episode, hopefully, and have a live podcast for everyone to enjoy. And
Like
place up with people.
Mystery Science Theater 3000
Kinda,
type
yeah.
of. I think that'd be great.
It's insane. It's like because I remember I saw it and I was like, it's like right when Scotland first got animation, so it looks very bad.
Maybe not when they first got it, but I think it might have been the first.
It was early
production. It was a
It's the
family.
guys that drew the Book of Kells.
it looked like the early Pixar stuff, but worse.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
and
mean?
in 2012,
It was
instead of
a paycheck
1995.
for him, right?
Oh no, less a paycheck, more favors for his friends.
Oh, because
This was a family he knew
Okay.
and was somewhat close with, and he's like, yeah, sure.
I used
I'll
to
help you out."
slap their mother. Sorry.
So he truly ends his career on one of the most bizarre notes ever.
That's
and
his last film,
that's his
2012.
last film, Sir
His
Billy.
first
Lower
his last live action is
Lower than Ray Liotta.
What was Ray Liotta's last
Cocaine
film?
Bear, right? Was
Cocaine
that his
Bear,
last
maybe. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, he
Maybe-
gets
or I think he has
eaten
one
by
more.
a bear.
He had one more coming out, but I'm curious.
Connery, curious?
Yeah, I'm Connery curious because while we're talking about his last film and such, he's still with us.
No.
He died?
He
Yeah.
has passed away. 2019, he passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, so he missed COVID too. That's great.
That's
That's great.
This
He
is
did-
Sir Billy.
He died on Halloween,
He
actually.
He died on Halloween?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no shit.
There he is.
Oh wow, it even looks like him.
Yeah. it's-
Billy with an eye.
Did he go through some Alzheimer's?
He did. I
Okay,
believe
that's
he
that's
had
what
dementia as he was passing.
I know. Dementia.
So yeah, you can.
So he was angry and didn't know who the hell he was yelling at.
Oh Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Which might be what this movie's about because look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah. Alan Cumming plays a goat.
Sir Billy.
Yeah.
It's about a goat. Billy Goat?
I have no idea. We have no
gruff?
idea what it's about.
Is he the troll?
Yeah, that goat right there is played
I
by
mean, we're talking
Alan
some
Cumming.
talking animals, it looks like, and
Yeah.
and some
Is
car
that
and
a
plane
fox
chase.
in the
He
Kill
drives
Bill
the
outfit?
DB5
No, that's the
from
goat.
Goldfinger
Oh, that's
in
the
movie,
goat.
too.
In a Kill Bill
In
outfit.
the Kill Bill
Get a
outfit.
picture of the DB5 in the movie. That's the funniest thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's his car is the DB5.
There are innumerable
There it is, yeah.
James Bond references in this film.
he
Apparently,
just drives
neither,
the car.
neither of us have seen it. It's also called Guardian of the Highlands.
That's that's a role that he could not really get away from
No,
his whole career
And
until
do you know who did the song for
Untouchables.
this movie?
Who?
Who they hired to do the song? Shirley Bassey.
Goldfinger.
Sir Billy. So yeah, that's Sir Billy, and we'll come back to that at the very end of this podcast run.
Yeah, that's going to be the final one we decided. It has to be the last one.
So
I'm excited.
You
And then
guys
you're
are
gonna,
welcome to Sir Billy Fest.
Yes, Sir Philip
Yes.
Fest.
I will definitely be watching
Oh, let's go.
Sir Billy.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be hard not to heckle the film.
Oh,
of
that's
course.
fine.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, we know it's going to be terrible. We know
Yeah.
it's going to be terrible. We can't wait for it.
Yeah.
So let's speak about a film that wasn't terrible.
No, not
and I
at
have
all.
to say the name of the rose.
Tara, this starts with you.
Oh, I was
You
gonna-
introduced him to the film, and we were introduced to the film only last week. So
it's
give
funny
us your history.
because, and maybe it's a dude thing, but I didn't know Sean Connery as James Bond. I knew him as Sean Connery, from Highlight, like growing up. I don't think I really watched old Bond movies.
Her dad was
with my
into
dad.
sci-fi, not
Yeah,
so
my dad
much-
was a sci-fi, so I definitely saw Highlander before any. I don't even know if I've seen a Connery Bond. You've had it on.
Yes, you've
before.
seen a Connery.
Okay,
We've
here and
watched
there.
You Only Live Twice. And possibly Goldfinger.
I would recommend From Russia with Love.
Okay.
That's a straightforward spy film.
All right. But I was never into Bond. But
You were into Daniel Craig when he came out in Bond.
I liked those.
Who wasn't?
I did. I
Right?
liked those.
Jesus.
He's gorgeous.
Guy comes out of the ocean. You're like, I got a lot of work to do.
I probably have to admit to seeing this as a teenager, probably more for Christian Slater, being 12 and having, he was definitely one of the, like the
She was
crushes
fanning her
of-
adolescence
yes, I was,
with some Slater action.
yeah, it was probably more I need to see Christian Slater's first movie
This
or
was
one
his
of
first movie.
It wasn't
Yeah.
his first movie. It was Legend of Billie Jean, I think was when.
Yeah, Legend of Billie Jean with
Legend of Billie Jean.
Helen Slater.
Yes.
No relation, maybe. I don't know. She was Supergirl.
Yeah. So
Yes. Oh no, they're cousins, I think.
Okay. Yeah. He played her
that
brother.
sounds about right. And his
Yeah.
mother's a casting agent, so that's
Nepotism.
Yep, nepo baby. But at that point, it was like, let me hunt down as many, Christian Slater movies as possible.
Just a quick note on Christian Slater and Sean Connery. It's so funny that Christian Slater's career got really hurt in the 90s because he slapped his girl. And I wonder if it wasn't Sean Connery that turned him on to that. I'm sorry.
You should give it a go.
I'm sorry.
It's funny because Christian Slater describes working with Sean Connery on this movie like he was glowing about it. He called him a man's man.
Oh, so
Well,
that's
we
definitely
all-
where he
Man's
learned it.
We all know that's
Yeah.
true.
Connery
Sean
kept
Connery.
saying, "Make America great again." I thought he was on to something there.
He's Scottish.
I don't understand why he cared, but that's my Christian Slater.
Oh, you got more like Jack, right?
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
kind of.
Greetings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
He hadn't
definitely
started doing his Jack Nicholson impression yet.
he definitely had that. I'm gonna be the next Jack Nicholson with my eyebrows.
Wishes.
No, but I loved this movie. It was surprisingly. It's based on a book by Umberto Eco.
It's funny, you watched it for the sex appeal of Christian Slater, knowing
That there would be no sex
in
appeal,
this
and it
movie,
just happens.
except for one part.
It happens
Yeah,
to have an
depending
incredibly
on what version
graphic
you
sex
watch.
scene.
Okay,
It does
all
have an
let's
incredibly
address
graphic
this elephant
sex
in the
scene.
room because you texted me about it earlier while we were setting stuff up. You guys were discussing it. Let's just get it on the podcast here. The version that we streamed on Amazon Prime did not have a hot and heavy sex scene, apparently, that you guys informed me of this morning. And then you sent me pictures of your television.
I sent you pictures off my television because I wanted you to see the dimples on this kid's ass. No. So the funny thing is, we couldn't get
Hey,
our...
Kris Hansen, why don't you have a seat on this couch?
Right? We couldn't get the... we couldn't get the DVD player to work the other night in our bedroom. But I was determined to watch the film from the bedroom. So we found it on Prime.
Specifically for its sex appeal.
Well,
You had to be close to the
just
bed.
so we could, if we passed out, I needed to,
We got too turned
That's
on
where
by
we-
the movie.
we smoke in the bedroom and watch it, and the sex scene is missing. And then Tara swore there was another scene that was interjected that she had never seen before. I don't think that's true, because I think that the only difference between the Amazon version and our DVD version is a 4-minute sex scene.
4 minutes?
I don't know that it's 4 minutes, but the Amazon stream version is 4 minutes shorter than the original.
And I think it's got to do with the sex scene, because it happens and then they cut away and then they go back to it. So
It's implied, but I grew up seeing it.
well, yeah. So
Crazy.
in the Amazon version, so you guys didn't see the sex. You just see Christian Slater's character Ansel.
Like wake up nude.
Adso.
Atso.
Or Adso.
He's waking up naked on the
rises
floor.
from the ground.
Just
Yeah.
after you see him get kind of
He
startled
hides.
by a
Yeah.
girl who's also hiding.
Yeah.
And you assume that she knocked him out or something, right? You
Yeah, the
assume-
way it's set up is like we see
She
he's
stole his
hiding in
clothes.
there. That's revealed that the guard was looking for the girl. She kind of peeks up and they lock eyes, and it cuts away. And then next time we see him, he's laying naked and he's getting up. So like that's what I assumed. Like maybe he got like knocked out by her.
Oh, I mean, I put it together pretty quickly.
Well, yeah,
I'm like,
well, 'cause
oh,
the dialogue
of
after.
the whole first part of the movie is about like repressing sexuality. So as soon as like, he wakes up nude, I'm like, oh.
But then why wouldn't you at least like show us like a cut version of it? Just like frame it so you don't see his ass or something, like or whatever. Like at
Is
least
it awkward?
Well, the thing is, I think the reason they cut it out was he was 17.
He was a minor.
Okay,
The
so
woman
that makes
was
sense.
in her 20s.
Okay.
Amazon, they might have thought that a little like, ugh, even though it was made in 1986.
Well, we're not gonna punch it in here.
No.
We don't usually punch in clips.
Maybe on Patreon.
Well, so the version of the film I have pulled up right here is the DVD version. So it's a little bit lower quality. So that's why we wanted to watch it on Prime because it's in HD.
HD, yeah.
So little did I know what I was missing out on.
Yeah,
But
we
if we need to pull up clips,
It's
we've got it
pretty
here.
graphic. Tara was talking. There's a scene where the camera goes over the girl's head, and you can see directly down both their torsos into like
Their torsos.
Torsos, yes.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
No, but
Into their
your
pubis hairs and
phonetical stumble actually works because their souls are now torn.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
I think it's
makes it-
it's incredibly well acted in terms of the two characters.
well, there's not
It's
much
not
development
very
for her.
dirty or
Except for her because
she
she's
doesn't
physically
serve,
dirty.
She is physically dirty.
right.
Very dirty.
For anyone that hasn't seen the movie, it basically takes place in
Medieval
1327, a medieval monastery, and Sean Connery's character is he's a Franciscan monk who formerly was on one of the Inquisition boards, and he's come to this monastery with his pupil, I guess you'd say. And he's meeting other Franciscans there, and
They're arguing
going
whether
to argue
Jesus was poor.
with the Benedictine monks on the poverty of the church, like whether the church should be poor or, continue to collect wealth and distribute it.
Which we know who won that.
Is that just? I was under the assumption that was just like the goings on of the church, and he was called there to investigate the murder.
No, he was
That
going
just
there to argue
happened to-
on
He
behalf
was
of
arguing on behalf of the Franciscans.
the church not collecting money and being like
Yes, which the
legit.
Franciscans believed in the poverty of Christ, and that the church should be poor too.
And the hunchback in this film,
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman,
I've got some notes about this.
he makes a comment. He says a word which has to
Intensi
do
agite, which is a rallying cry for, they were
another sect.
heretics, another sect that also believed in the poverty of the church, but they actually killed
They killed
Uh,
rich.
killed
Yeah.
the rich, killed bishops, burned churches, looted.
Yeah, and that guy's hiding out in the monastery.
Yes.
He's all the monks
they
now.
show him pity because he's deformed.
Yes.
A bit special. Because I
little
love
bit
what a
special.
performance from Ron Perlman.
Oh,
Have you ever seen him in a movie where he didn't give such a performance? I mean, the guy's a gifted
Yeah, like the so
character actor.
different too, because was he dubbed at all with the different languages?
No, he,
No,
was,
he
told,
did that
he
himself.
was told to make it up, and he speaks
What a different,
languages.
voice too, because I know him as he was just Optimus Primal in the last Transformers movie and Hellboy, his very deep voice and action hero, and hearing him in this is very different. How old is he in this?
Dude, he was in a sitcom. Not a sitcom.
Beauty and the Beast.
He was in a
with Linda
TV show with
Hamilton.
Linda
Yes,
Hamilton.
the Beauty and the Beast
Beauty and the
show.
Beast show. And, yeah, he's been in all kinds of stuff.
I kind of want to do a Perlman Curious now to see
So
his collection.
he was 36 in this film.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, I thought he was younger than
How old is he now? He's up there.
He's
now.
old now.
50, so he's in his 70s.
He's still going too. He's still doing stuff.
What an amazing performance from him in this film.
Yeah, so when I saw him I was like, is it the Ron Perlman? I saw him. in the
They all gave really good performances, and they the look of everybody, it's so morbid. I mean, this is it's a real ugly film.
Yes.
Well, the director actually said, "I want the ugliest mofo's
in this
Oh,
monastery. They're
I've got some kind of note about that.
I got some
something,
nasty
There's
prosthetic
nothing
teeth
sexy
to go
about that
in.
film
No.
except for the one sex scene, and that's
No, they do a great job of recreating just the feel, like everybody's indoors
Showers don't
talking and you can see the condensation. You know how cold it is there, and yet the Franciscans are wearing sandals. Like,
Right.
You know, it's just a very
And
Yeah.
this poster makes it look like a comedy.
oh
Yeah,
wow,
it looks like Monty
it does.
Python or something.
Who's gonna investigate this murder? Me?
Oh, that had to be the American poster because it was a flop at the box office
Oh, I
here.
can
It was a
imagine.
European hit, and it revived his career enough so that the next year he got the role in The Untouchables and won an Oscar for that.
This movie should be called The Unfuckables.
damn straight.
Yeah.
Now let's. So it opens. They're traveling to this monastery.
Which, sorry to interrupt. We always make a note. 1 minute, 26 seconds is our first time that we see Connery.
Yes, I got that one.
Okay, continue.
What happens in the first minute?
He's on the horses and they're
Oh, right.
approaching the
Granted, it's from a distance, but once you realize it's him on a horse, I backtrack when you first see
very,
it.
very Star Wars-esque. Reminded me of the beginning of episode 1 of Qui-Gon Obi-Wan going to see the traders.
We're just gonna get this out of the way now because I'm gonna forget about it. This movie is so fucking Star Wars.
It really
This movie is so Star Wars. George Lucas
And
must have
very
watched.
Batman and Robin in some cases too.
Yes.
They're solving a crime.
Well, this came out after Star Wars,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
they
Now
were
replace
probably watching
Connery
Star
with
Wars.
Adam West and replace Adzo with Burt Ward.
Yeah. In
And
the Batman episode.
and then also you could replace him with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it just felt like.
Yeah.
Just no real violence, though. You
No.
know? And that's something that's until the Inquisitors show up.
But it's
Which
supposed
we'll
to
get
be
to.
like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, right? Like Watson follows him around and asks him questions and writes down his stuff. I mean, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Plus, he's William of Baskerville.
Yeah,
the
yes,
Hounds of
that's- yeah.
Baskerville. It's kind of implied
Yeah.
that he's like a
And
Sherlock
it is a
Holmes.
mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it did have a very Star Wars Jedi feel. At least I was getting that maybe George Lucas took a lot of inspiration from this film for like the stoicism that because if we were talking about the prequels earlier, you know, consider them canon or whatnot, but there's some really powerful stuff in there. I was explaining to my mother earlier in the week. My sister and I were explaining to her how the allegories of fascism in the prequels mirror both the stuff that George Bush, George Lucas was writing about the Bush administration, but also now post Trump, and there's some powerful stuff in there,
And
and
the Jedi are always kind of very Catholic in a way. You know what I mean? It's
I feel like George Lucas probably threw a little bit.
Jedi
from
Church, you know? It's crazy. Yeah, it's like,
I sense an unusual amount of fear for something as trivial as this church dispute.
yeah.
Anyway, all right, that's that.
Yeah, so they come in to argue, for whether, the church should be poor or not, and they're prepared to do that, and yeah, a mystery unfolds. There's a death.
A death occurred prior to their arrival at the Abbey, and the abbot lets Sean Connery know that there was unusual circumstances. It seemed like the
The
young
window-
translator fell from a window that was locked. And so, of course, being the time that we're in, the devil is suspected or unseen forces. And of course, within a few minutes, the intellectual,
was a
has been like,
suicide.
oh, no. Oh,
fell from a different window.
yeah, because he has some understanding
or
of,
he got
Probably.
pushed, or
yeah, but he's looking at
What are you doing,
Other-
Brother William? I'm dusting for French. Go away.
yeah.
it's funny, his character immediately.
Plunge to the lab.
Immediately you realize that his character doesn't really think anybody is smart.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, that's not what happened. He's just like, anything that's presented, I already know the answer.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
He's very, very Poirot in this film.
He is.
Ah.
Mario made this for me.
Yeah. This is the only religious shirt I really had. It was like, oh, you know?
Almax. supermarkets.
All hail Almax.
He's showing up to. Now it hit me. I had asked that he was not showing up to investigate this crime. Merely, the crime happened on his way there.
Yeah, on his way there. And
Because of course it takes place in the 1300s. They're not gonna. We've got a death here.
And you
gotta
understand-
get down here and investigate it.
there's a little bit of dialogue that, he used to investigate stuff and he doesn't do that kind of work anymore. It's like, dude, this is classic storytelling, right? Like Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. Like, I'm retired. I don't do that kind of work, but I'll look into it.
Right?
You know?
Well, that's Poirot. Right. In the most recent Poirot we saw movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
that's
like,
a-
I don't do
was
that.
that
I
Death-
can't get involved.
Oh,
Death
was
in
that-
Venice? Was
Death in
that
Venice, tremendous.
Haunting in Venice.
Haunting
right?
in
Yes.
Venice.
I
Haunting in Venice,
love him as Poirot. It's so much fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's good. I
Oh.
liked all three of the
The
films.
Orient
that he's
Express
done.
is good, and
Well,
Death on the Nile.
I mean, I don't think you can beat Albert Finney as Poirot.
we
Like,
love the Connery version too of
Yeah,
Orient.
have you guys seen
that
Albert
one?
Finney
1974?
is brilliant in everything he does. The Murder on the Orient Express.
You've seen that version?
Yes.
Yes, it's phenomenal. That's a phenomenal.
That's one of our
film.
highest rated films on this podcast, I believe.
Yeah, I think if we were to do our ratings right now, it'd probably be number one for me.
Honestly, yeah, it's up there.
For
It's
Sean
really
Connery
great.
films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What a cast too.
that and Last Crusade, I think, is up there.
Yeah, and Highlander and maybe Sword of the Valiant.
So we love Sword.
I took issue with Last Crusade. I took issue. It was watered down from the very original Indiana Jones for me. Not that we're talking about
It
this
does
film
feel
today.
like Raiders light.
Raiders was awesome, completely, hands down. The action, the attitude, and then you add like old man kind of, it was good. I'm not gonna
Connery's
say
great in it.
Yeah, it was good, and the fact that like they both slept with the. I mean, there's some funny stuff in there.
There's some quality writing in there, but I can definitely understand how.
There's nothing sexy about the movie we're talking about
No.
today. I mean,
No.
there's sex scenes, but nothing.
To go back to Last Crusade, that was the last time we had two guests on. Was for Last Crusade.
Yeah, seriously.
And everyone gave it 10s except for me. I gave it a 9.5
Oh.
because I thought same thing. It's like kind of like a watered down Raiders a
Best-
little bit.
Let me ask you this, and just to see if you agree. The best part of that film for me was the very beginning with River Phoenix.
I agree.
I thought he would have been the best guy to ever take that the mantle and run.
Yeah, it's a shame we
but
couldn't
when
have
you
went
have
down there.
a trilogy of 3 films, all right, you have your first movie, which is Raiders.
It was the best.
Okay. Then they come back with this kind of like trying to be family friendly. They got the kid in there. It's a little more Disney.
that was
then
still
it becomes
very dark
very
film,
not
though.
family friendly,
It's
very quick.
Very quick.
Yeah.
But, that's what they were kind of going for. And of course, you have people that are like, oh, no, we want the original Indiana. They were trying to bring back the charm of, the first
Yeah.
one. You can't tell me that, like, A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, like, you can swap out a lot of, we're building another Death Star?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of the same elements. They write
Well,
that
we
in
all know,
trilogies a lot.
Yeah, it's an artifact related to Christ. It's
Exactly.
an
Empire
old white
Strikes
man
Back
working
was,
with Nazis.
Yep.
obviously the one I focus on in that trilogy. But
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
perfect, it's like the recipe is there. It's like that's.
I feel like we had
I like
really good
original, too.
momentum with this, and that the not recording thing kind of hurt us. But
That's okay.
All right.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You keep talking about the name of the rose. I'm gonna go double check.
All right.
so they go to argue whether or not the church should be poor, which is an important argument. I think it takes the validity out of the religion when you make it about riches and accumulating wealth it's probably the only reason they got into it in the first place. If you think about it, it was.
Well, part of the role of the church, which is kind of exemplified through the peasant girl that you see. I mean, you have these poor people that live outside the church, the abbey, and you see them bringing food, crops that they've grown as like tithes.
And then you see
to
them
the church.
throwing the waste out that
They
door.
throw the waste out,
and those
to
people,
the
that's what they
peasants.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
terrible.
there's a, you know, that's kind of a running theme in this book is exactly like
And the Franciscans, it's probably like the first kind of communism that they're trying to, you know, everybody should be poor, everybody should share everything, everybody should.
by the time like the papal delegacy that's doing the debate shows up. I mean, you look at their outfits contrasted with
Shiny
the burlap
gold.
friar. Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, it's-
Tassels and carriages and
It's very Naboo royalty.
yes.
My laces
Go back
are
to the
made
prequels.
from the hair of peasants.
Yeah, so you can see
And
the
the
wealth
cart that
moving
they're
up the
being-
food chain within the church.
The cart that those, like the Pope and whatnot, are being moved in on, literally like being pushed by
people.
way too many people to be efficient.
Yes.
Like, my lord, I think it's enough. No. Get more people to push it. We've got enough
We need
people.
people to push
More.
these people.
The ugliest
that are-
people you can get, too. And the most disabled, too. Like, I want people in wheelchairs pulling my cart. Anyway.
How you know? Can we talk about the overweight monks
I
for
mean,
a minute?
we can.
Sure,
Yeah.
You know, being an
They
overweight
weren't
guy myself,
all overweight.
Huh?
They weren't all overweight.
no, but there was a couple that were like they were definitely eating more
Well,
than
our lead
other monks.
monk, Michael Lonsdale, who,
The abbot.
yes.
Yes.
Who that man.
We'll talk. Shall we talk about that right
Just
now?
as a Bond fan, that was very exciting.
Okay. Are you aware of this James Bond connection with Michael Lonsdale?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So, 1979, the James Bond film that comes out is Moonraker. Stars Roger Moore, and the villain Hugo Drax is played by Michael Lonsdale.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see in this film James Bond and one of his villains kiss.
That was crazy.
Oh, let's talk about the kisses.
Yeah.
Do you notice that when Abraham Murray shows up, he gets a real short kiss from that guy, but Sean Connery's kiss was just a little bit longer.
Well, everyone
was
likes
a little bit longer.
Everyone wants to kiss Sean Connery. Who wants to kiss F.
It's a
Murray
man's
Abraham?
man.
Well, if that wasn't directed by the director, 'cause,
I'm sure
I
it
mean,
was. You could see that the loving embrace with Sean and his.
But apparently, F. Murray Abraham was a total d-bag because he had just won an Oscar for Amadeus a couple,
yes.
and all he kept doing was, "I'm an Oscar-winning actor," and Sean Connery isn't. Apparently, he was really jerky.
Oh,
Maybe they wrote into the movie like they were friends
He got
before.
second billing.
They
you
were
know?
friends before, so maybe he's like, maybe make them enemies now.
Yeah,
F.
yeah.
Murray Abraham's being a real asshole.
Well, maybe that was his way of getting a better performance out of the rest of the.
Yeah.
He wanted to be really hated, so
Yeah.
he came out like that. I mean,
Oh, those method actors.
Maybe the reason he gets a short kiss is because his name isn't Kiss Murray Abraham. It's F. Murray Abraham.
that's right. That's right. F, meaning, you know.
This is my son, Blow Murray Abraham.
His cousin blow me.
Yeah.
Blow
Cousin
hard.
BJ.
Blow hard.
Anyway.
man. The only thing that bothered me about him the whole movie is like I just can't stand that little
Yes.
gimmick of hair right there. But
The
just shave it off.
little piece that's missing.
Just shave it off.
Like was
Connery
that
went full like no hair piece down here.
Yeah, Connery
Doc
looks very
Brown.
good with his no hair piece.
Yeah, but like him, I get that. There's a couple of them had little bangs there. I'm like, shave it off.
Yeah, there's
Like,
it's
jeez.
like this little line, and then it stops right here,
Yeah.
or right here, and it's like, did they mess up? Is that
It looks funny on Michael Lonsdale. It looks really funny on Kristen Slater that they just kind of like put a little pasta bread bowl hole on
Yeah,
his
just give him a
head.
little,
Like he's
yarmulke.
got plenty of his hair. But it's just like you just want to put some pasta in there.
was that you got to wonder what that style was and why they did that. Is it like the samurais, or is it like just to make them make
Because
themselves look less
some of them
appealing?
had like the full, almost like bird nest type situation going on, and then some were kind of. It's kind of like you earned your bald spot, like you know. the youngest one had a small bald spot. Some of them had like a nice looking like bowl cut with like nothing there, and then you have Drax with like the stupid bangs in the front.
What if that was
You know?
the Beatles haircut? Like the mop top that
It looks like it, but like
it was Christian Slater's.
No, Christian Slater's hair was the haircut of like every little boy in my kindergarten class, minus the shaved on the top.
I was just imagining the 1964 Beatles getting off the plane and having the little
Taking a hat off.
Each of them have a little spot.
But yeah, I'm not aware what the reasoning
Shave.
is for that style.
So that God can get more into your brain.
I
into your
find it
head,
funny.
and
It was
the highest point to God. Maybe that's got to be something.
That probably makes sense.
Well, 'cause
I feel
that's
like
the
I
reason-
knew this at some point.
That's
in
the reason
time.
church spires exist, because it was like build the
Sure.
highest thing you can build to tickle
God.
God's nutsack, and maybe it's the same thing. Like if
I
I
guess.
leave the highest point on my body vulnerable to God.
I find it
I'm
really
not
funny
religious,
that
so I
it was
don't
like
know.
adopted by punk rock, and
Really?
some skinhead. The whole like different like bald shavingness and little hair that comes out like here and there. I mean, it's totally
like-
adopted. It's the same hairstyle. I mean, they.
It's like the bike-powered hair cutting machine from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What you done? Give me a mirror. Let's have a look. A mirror? I guess I'll go home and get you one.
Tara laughs, but she's never seen that
I've
movie.
never seen
There's
it.
a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
No, but for some reason my brain just went to the Flowbee. Do you remember the Flowbee? It was the hair cutting device that you attached to your vacuum cleaner.
And it was like a tube.
What?
And
Yes.
it sucked your hair
and then
and
you
cut.
like
Using
cut.
commercial, yeah.
Oh man.
Your baby is going to get sucked right into the vacuum. 100%. How's it looking? Looks good. It's humanly impossible to do with scissors.
Cut that in, Dylan.
Glad I never tried that. You know, the Flowbee.
I'm really surprised your mom doesn't have one. In the
Yeah, I had to go to the doctor's
drawer,
after I
the
tried.
I
junk
did use the
drawer.
Flowbee and this happened, and then I never
You know
got
what
back.
I mean?
I used the Flowbee and now can't have kids.
Right? How many people tried to have sex with that tube? You're right.
Fuck the Flowbee.
Fuck the Flowbee.
What do you think the F
I'm glad
stands
you
for?
said the. I'm glad you
The
see.
fully lubricated operating blowjob
Murray.
electronic
machine?
F. Murray. See, I want to say fuck Murray, but I didn't know we could swear. And
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah, you can say whatever you
Okay.
want. For the most
Yeah,
part.
I mean, we made it like, what, 5 minutes without a good swear, so I think we're good on
when I had my
YouTube
radio
algorithm.
show in this place, I had a friend that would co-host, and he said the F word so much that they put a swear jar in our room, and we had to give like $1 every time we said the F word.
Well, my science teacher upstairs, when this was a school, my science room was upstairs, she had a swear jar, and I filled that motherfucker up.
Dude, I
bought
used to
the class
drop a
pizza by the
5
end
in
of
the
the
and just go.
Well, you've got a swear jar on your show.
on the podcast,
Friggin'
yeah,
Nerds
we'll
podcast.
do that. Yeah, and that's
Talk
how.
about
And we used to do like giveaways at the end of the like
gonna check the
season, where we'd be like, "All right, let's see, we made $500. We got to give it away to somebody,
Charity or
One-
something, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, all worth it at the end.
You told me that at one point we would talk about soundtrack, and I just wanted to make a comment that there wasn't much of one, which I enjoyed. I love the
Yes.
wind and whatnot. There's a few points, but on my TV this morning when I was watching the DVD, it has those like low frequency rumbles. And it almost sounded like a didgeridoo for a second, like someone was just holding a long note on the didgeridoo, not even doing the yoink, just like.
Wait, did you hear that, Mario? It's Irvin Kershner playing the didgeridoo.
I play the didgeridoo.
Dr. Didge. Never say never again. That is a remake, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
of Thunderball. Because we did, so we hit Thunderball, and we always said if we get Thunderball or Never Say Never Again, we'll do them back to back because it's a remake of Thunderball, Never Say Never Again.
That he already
And-
made.
So,
Yeah, so
so
it was-
it's a rights thing. So
Oh, right, because there's
Ian
two different
Fleming-
owners.
Ian Fleming was like just hanging out one summer with this guy named Kevin McClory, and they just started writing a Bond story. Or no, they started writing a story. Was it a Bond story? I don't know. Either way, Oh no, it was a movie. They were writing a movie, and it was Thunderball, and nothing came of it. And then years later, Ian Fleming was writing another Bond book, and he's like, I'm kind of out of it. Oh, wait a second, I wrote this movie, and he basically just uses that and publishes it as the book Thunderball. Then the movies start getting made. They have the rights to Thunderball. We're gonna make Thunder. Oh shoot, this other guy, Jack McClory, he's gonna want his because he already is in the midst of a lawsuit over the book. So they basically like gave him a good amount of money and a executive producer credit on the film. He shows up as a cameo. Bond walks by him in a lobby or something, but it got settled in court that
he could make his own version.
Yeah, he could make his own version after 10 years and only use the stuff from the screenplay that he wrote. Only that stuff. Nothing else from he couldn't use the Bond theme. He couldn't use any of their logos.
So it feels very hollow when you see that movie.
It does. I wasn't a fan of the Never Say Never Again.
Yeah. It does. We talked about it on the show. Like it does certain
Literally
things
our last
better.
episode.
Yeah, it does certain things better than Thunderball did. Like small things here and there.
Small thing. No, I think.
But Thunderball is still better.
Yeah, I think Claudine Auger is better than Kim Basinger.
I mean, obviously, we get to see young Connery versus really old,
Sword of the Valiant
looking Connery.
Toupee wearing.
Yeah, he looked so bad in that movie.
Yeah,
I said because at that same time
he looked like too many whiskeys, raw eggs, and cigarettes.
Yeah, it's like, but if you made him look natural, give him the beard and like a bald head, that would have been like this fine because he was still handsome as hell, but they made him look like. I don't know. He looked like he had like Botox, or he looked so off.
And you were saying that at the same time, so he is an executive producer on Never Say Never Again, and at the same time, he's filming a film that wouldn't come out till '84 called Sword of the Valiant, and he plays the Green Knight, and he's done full up in makeup and armor, as we've described him before. Gene Simmons, or Gene Simmons of the Forest.
Yeah,
but he looks good. Like. You can tell that underneath that makeup and armor is like a really sexy man. But in Never Say Never Again, filming at the same time, he doesn't look as good. So,
yeah.
Oof, wow.
As James Bond. You think he would look better as James Bond than the Green Knight?
I'll say somehow he looks better in this film than he did in
He looks great in this film.
He does look great. He looks like himself. I think he's very appropriate looking for the part.
Yeah,
someone that looks old enough to have, been on the Inquisition, and
and of all
like,
the
okay,
other
I'm done with that, and
just him amongst all the other monks are like he's like the best looking guy, you know what I mean? Over there.
Oh yeah.
It's like
amongst the monks.
Well, it's only the attractive young monks that die at first.
Right.
The two first monks that die.
Do we know how old he was at the filming of this?
I'm thinking of the opening of Tropic Thunder. With the fake trailer with Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire.
From Fox Searchlight.
Yeah, how old would he have been here, Connery?
Connery would have been 56. Yeah, 56.
In this?
Yeah.
Wow.
What year was he born?
Well, I've got Wikipedia open right here.
I'll say every guy should look at how old he actually was.
He's like 10 years older than me in this film.
1930. Wow. So he's 56 in this.
Wow.
He looks great.
Yeah.
And I think he looks better in this film than he looks in Untouchables.
Yeah, it's
totally. Untouchables,
he's supposed to be like
a little bit schlubby,
60 or 70, right?
Yeah.
Retired. Beat
and
cop
Irish.
Oh no, he wasn't retired. He's still a beat cop.
And Irish with a Scottish accent.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
I think that's the most of any
films?
character I could think of.
The Untouchables?
Like the Untouchables.
Yeah.
He's like...
I think I gave a 10 to the in Last Crusade.
Yeah, because we rate that at the end of the show, how thick his accent is. And
I have to say, in this one, he really made an effort to pronounce his S's. I honestly, there's a couple of moments, but he really, I don't know how carefully you listen to the dialogue, but when you put that in front of me like that, I would have to judge his.
Do we want to hear a line from him?
We can if you'd like.
But did you notice how few books there were on the scriptorium shelves? All those scriveners, copyists, translators, researchers, thinkers. Well, where are the multitude of books that they need for their work?
Yeah,
It was very weak though. It almost was like a whistle because he tried so hard to do his S.
I can hear how he's kind of trying to suppress it.
Yeah, he is. I'm telling you, throughout this whole film, he was trying to suppress it.
Well, while we're on it, do we want to
was.
just rate the SH while we're talking about it?
Yeah, I might as well.
We'll skip that rating for now. Let's get into it.
It's there, but like, yeah, suppressed. I think it's like right in the middle where it slips sometimes.
I'm gonna say it's like because you're never really gonna get below 5 on a Sean Connery movie with the SH. I mean,
we have.
Younger Connery for sure. He's clean as a whistle. But once it gets like after, I think it's the late 80s, honestly. Late 80s when it starts to develop more.
All right, well, let's just rate this now, and then we'll come back to our ratings later. What are you going to give the SH, Mario?
I'm gonna give it honest.
Chris,
I'm sorry.
Mario, I'm sorry. Guests go first. Go first.
I started talking before I heard the name. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
6.5. Tara, how about you?
Oh, I concur.
Dr. Harris, do you concur? Concur with what, sir?
Or I could say 7 to outdo.
You gonna go with
Chris.
7? Okay.
Yeah, it's not too strong, but it's definitely there. I mean,
you can hear his desire to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can hear he's got this real like grovelly. I want to say something.
Well,
like shuck my balls, Trebek.
Shuck them?
Shuck them.
You want me to peel them?
Right? Shuck my corn.
Mario, how about you,
bud?
Yeah, I was thinking a 6 even.
6.
It's there, but not too bad. But yeah, he takes his like oldie like period pieces very seriously. We've seen a lot of the Shakespeare stuff from him doing this podcast, and like he takes those things very seriously. But when it comes to like more contemporary stuff, he's like, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna do whatever.
We were talking about how
see this dude do Shakespeare. Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's Sean
only
Connery.
one. He plays Macbeth.
He did Macbeth.
It's
yeah.
phenomenal. It's a TV movie.
We have a copy of it if you guys want it. Like it's great.
I'll share it with you guys. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it was like made for TV, BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the cinematography is a little limited, but incredibly
BBC
creative.
takes that serious.
Exactly.
BBC.
Better be careful.
I think he put a good effort in this one because it is very historically accurate. You know, the monastery, like the.
I thought the sex scene was not
medieval,
historically
like-
accurate, though. I thought the sex scene was a little bit developed.
Especially when they got out their Lovense Bluetooth vibrators. I'm like, this is this seems completely inaccurate for the time.
Dude, the best scene though is he takes the wall dong and goes. Right?
And that's for me.
That's for me.
That's what those, mechanical objects that he hides from the abbot.
Yeah, exactly.
really are.
It's getting away.
So I think what really opens up the sex scene though, and there's a scene where the fat assistant librarian is
whipping himself.
Yeah, and fat can call fat. Okay, folks,
Exactly.
Don't get mad. I'm fat, and I'm calling him fat.
It's Brother Berenger.
Brother Berenger.
Oh, I was
is
thinking it was
smacking
Baron
himself in the
Harkonnen.
back, and with the whip. And Sean Connery is just delightfully standing and listening with pleasure. Just like, oh, someone's
Rubbing
getting
one
a
out to
beating
it.
right now. And then Christian Slater like startles, and then like he tries to. Sean Connery tries to comfort him, then move away, and he grabs his arm to snuggle, like as of reaching out for him. Tara would say the analogy of a mother, like
Mother. Yes, he was looking for nurturing. We know that Adso is the youngest son of the Baron of Milk, which means he comes from title, and yet he's been probably shoved off to the clergy. Like, we don't know
He was
Atso's
annoying.
history for being
Atso,
there.
but it sounds like agile
It
the whole
does.
time.
It really does.
That's where he messes up.
Yeah.
Okay,
his
well
speech.
let's wrap this up. I'm gonna agree with you, Tara. I'm gonna give him a 7 on the SH.
But let's think about it though. He says Atso,
Achel.
Atso
Asshole.
throughout the whole movie, and it sounds like asshole
Agile
or
or
agile.
asshole.
So I might want to change my 6.5 to a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Essentially, we don't know the actual name of one of the characters because of how he speaks it, because of his S shots.
And he
So
changes it the whole time. It's like every scene, it's a different, asshole.
Oh my God, Mario! Look, what the film he did right before this was.
Sword of the Valiant.
Oh, what Sword of the Valiant? Look at
It was
that.
the Green King.
I honestly, you said that name, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen
I
that
hope you
one.
have.
Did you guys watch the
Did you guys
first
do
night?
the Robin Hood one?
We
The
haven't
Robin
done it
Hood?
yet. And I know Kristen Slater's in that too,
second
right?
episode.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
first
I was
episode.
talking about the one with
episode.
Katherine Hepburn.
That's a
Oh,
good
Robin
one.
and Marion. Yes,
Yeah.
we've done
That's
Robin
the
and Marion.
Lancelot, Richard Gere.
Richard Gere.
That's
in it,
First
yeah.
Night. That one's really good.
That's a thick SH in that
I liked
movie.
First Night more than I liked
Come
Robin
watch.
and Marion. I liked Robin and Marion. That was really good.
Mm.
Especially Robert Shaw. He was great in that.
Yeah.
Robert Shaw.
Which actually we got from Russia with Love, which has Sean Connery, Robert Shaw, and a score by John Barry. And Nicole was the guest on that. She spun the wheel and landed on Robin and Marion, which has Sean Connery, Robert Shaw, and a score from John Barry.
That's crazy.
And this film has had this podcast has had some crazy lineups. Like damn near on the 1-year anniversary of my dad's death, we got the film Memories of Me, which is about Billy Crystal dealing with the death of his dad.
Right.
So.
Well, at the end, I mean, we
Yes,
see the
but
dad the whole
ultimately,
movie.
Yeah, dealing with the
yeah.
coming death of his dad.
Yeah.
Well, reuniting and fixing his bad relationship with his dad.
But the most fucked up part about the movie is Connery's in it for 3 seconds.
13
seconds, and he plays himself. And he's going to the set of
the Presidio.
The Presidio.
Which he was shooting.
He's
on
in
that
this
lot.
Presidio outfit, and he's on a movie set, and that's the only time you see him. He plays himself. And he just says hello to them for a second and keeps walking. And I was like, and we still covered it. We're like, fuck it. 13 seconds, we're still going to cover it.
And hold on, let's go to our ratings. You can see Memories of Me. What did we give it for the film? 10.
Yeah, 'cause you loved it. You loved it. So.
Did you give that a 10 just because I loved it?
I think we both enjoyed it a lot. I got to
Okay.
re-listen to that episode. We'll see what we said.
Best 13 seconds.
Yeah, but
It's a great cameo, and
Yeah.
it was a really good movie. Like I cried.
it was like a Stan Lee cameo, like in the Marvel movie. Like just showed up.
Hello.
I created these characters 50 years ago in a
Spider-Man.
comic book. Memories of Me.
Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Lobster. Because the dad's dressed as a lobster.
Oh yeah, that's the funniest part. He's just a lobster talking to Sean Connery.
He's in a lobster outfit.
What an
It's
honor.
great. The joys that this podcast
You
has
might
brought
think
us.
this is the weirdest thing that I've ever happened to me.
Could have been worse.
I once sat and had a 6-hour conversation with a cockroach.
Let's go to my next note.
Yeah.
Rent?
Rent?
Oh my God, yeah,
Mr. Dickovich.
Mr. Dickovich from the Spider-Man
Speaking of
movies.
Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah.
Which one is
he was the guy. He's right at the beginning when they first get
He's
there.
the
He
last
has-
murder.
He has that big mole on his face. We have a
The
picture of him.
herbalist?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the one that is trying to steal, or not. He's trying
Flesh
to like.
could be
he's-
tempted.
What was that?
guy?
the flesh could be tempted.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Peter
But they
Parker's
weren't gay,
landlord.
dude. No
and-
homo. Don't worry.
Yeah, no homo.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
Right?
Yeah, for God, no homo. But they were
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
been
no
in a
homo.
lot, but I'll
God.
always know him as Peter Parker's landlord in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right.
like,
That's
yeah.
right. He was.
So
Yeah.
it's like, so,
And he
so
had
You
the
are
daughter.
ni-
He
you are
had
a
the
nice
daughter
flyer?
that
yeah, like it was supposed to be a love interest kind of, but then they kind
she
of
looked
threw
like
it
she
away.
could have been Spider-Man's sister.
Yeah,
Tobey
or-
Maguire's sister. I mean, they looked almost just alike.
That's
Yeah.
who she,
landlord's daughter.
honestly though. That's who we should have ended up with because she like
Was the
brings
only
him
one there
cake
for him.
and genuinely shows him empathy.
You hear that, ladies?
Except
You just
after
got to bring
his
Dylan some
dark
cake.
side and what was the third movie?
Even when it was a
the-
dark
Then
side.
she's super turned on. 'Cause
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
makes some
wow,
cookies
the
and
nerd
stuff.
is all sexy right now.
He's
oh
leaning
my
on the payphone.
lord.
He's like, hey, go make me
She
some
didn't
more.
see him
Go get me
dance
more
down
cake,
the
woman.
street,
And she's like, yes, sir.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's
You've never walked down the street and danced. to James Brown.
With finger
Not
guns.
only James Brown, but the best James Brown.
You've never walked down the street and danced to James Franco? No. No one has.
And did these, like, gun things.
Yep, the gun things.
I'm going to go give another check. Continue. But yeah, Mr. Dickovich.
Yeah, so yeah, seeing him was hilarious. So I always love seeing there's a couple of interesting cameos. Who else? I forget the guy's name.
It's really hard to notice who these people are when they've got like half their head shaved and they look completely ridiculous, you know?
Although, what's his name that shows up at the end? He has the mustache. I can't think of the actors. He pulled up the cast.
Yes.
On the IMDb, I need to see their faces too. But he's the guy. He's been in so much.
A lot of guys in this film.
Oh, Elia Baskin.
There he is.
That's who.
Look how badass Mr. Dinkovich looks.
If you didn't notice, the picture from IMDb is the picture we have here on the mantelpiece, because it goes back to a film, another time, another place. It's very good.
There he is. F. Murray Abrams. Yeah, him.
Okay.
Yeah, seeing him, I was kind of like, I didn't know his name, but when you see his face, I'm like, oh shit, him.
Fuck.
Like he's been like everything.
Fuck Murray Abraham.
Amadeus.
But yeah, seeing some of those people, it's like, yeah, it's weird to see them like with their head shaved and it looks so different. Ron Perlman was almost unrecognizable until we actually saw him.
For the longest time, when I was a kid, I didn't know what Tim Curry looked like because everything I had seen
He's
of it.
wearing some kind of prosthetic.
Ron Perlman, same way. It was
Really,
years before I actually knew what he looked like.
Yeah, he's got a very strong face. The reason why they made him Hellboy, you know, like he has a very strong like jawline. He looks, you know,
he's a good casting for Hellboy.
You know, as soon as I heard him, Optimus Primal, I'm like, yeah, I can see him with a very was he in Planet of the Apes? I feel like he would have been a strong primate in that film, like CG'd his face a little bit. You know what I mean? He has a very strong jawline there. I could be wrong. I don't think he's in one of the Apes movies.
It would be the 2001 Planet of the Apes, right? Is that what you're thinking
With Marky Mark?
I think he might be.
Ice Pirates. That was a good movie. Not.
No, he's not.
But it was okay.
He's not. But yeah, you think he would be. And honestly, if the MCU had started 10 years earlier, he would have been Thanos.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Although respect to Josh Brolin.
Oh, Josh Brolin's phenomenal. And
it.
like a feature... showcase of motion capture technology. It's a masterpiece.
I'd rather him stay Cable though. I liked him as Cable as well.
Cable's good.
It was fun.
Are they bringing Cable back for the?
I don't think he's going to be in Deadpool 3.
I don't know. That Deadpool Wolverine movie is looking like everyone's coming to play. Like the Fox guys, like Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys from the other old X-Men movies.
I wonder if we're going to get Chris Evans as.
That's my speculation because they will miss out on a joke. If they see him, like, anyone ever say you look like Captain America? Like,
who?
That's the best joke you can make. You know, I think they already said, like, what's her name? Jennifer Gardner's coming back as Elektra. I hope Ben Affleck shows Daredevil.
Quick note: do you know what Nicole and I watched last night for about an hour before we started to doze off? The director's cut of Daredevil.
It's not bad.
It's really good.
It's not bad.
The 2003
the old
director's cut, not the theatrical cut. That's a different movie entirely, but.
Yeah, there's a little more action.
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen it. I probably didn't hate the regular cut of the movie. I might have hated, you know, that the Irish guy. What's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
He's equally muggy in this.
Yeah,
I had an issue with him. He annoyed me. I think it was like once I saw Alexander, I couldn't unsee him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And everything he's done, he almost smells like cheese.
He's usually a deterrent for me. I'm not a fan.
But I will say in latter years, like he's done some things that I thought were really good.
Him as the Penguin.
Yeah,
I'm kind of over my disdain for him.
Isn't it funny that he and Ben Affleck played Daredevil and Daredevil's villain, and then they go on to play Batman and Batman's villain?
Yeah, isn't that?
He's definitely done things since that I didn't hate, and I think it's that whole like beefcake kind of vibe. Like when Brad Pitt did the Legends of the Fall, you can watch that movie and like it, but then you can watch that movie and see Fabio. You know what I'm saying? Like those kinds of things.
I do remember women swooning, like, oh, he was so, when he takes his shirt off in Legend of the Fall. But yeah, is that the one that's like a movie about fishing?
No, that's another one.
It's
That's another
it's
one.
a legend
River
about
runs
how
through
his
it.
shirt fell off.
Yeah, right? How he killed a bear when he was only 3. So back to this ugly film of total ugliness and lots of dudes with weird shaved heads. The plot thickens. There's
thought
another
plickens.
murder. Okay, so someone, Sean Connery deducts that this guy like threw himself off a tower and he kind of rolled down a hill and the first death was suicide. And his Franciscan brothers show up and they're like, there's another murder of a dude is like upside down in a vat of pig's blood.
That was creepy. That was
Yeah,
very
it's
creepy.
totally creepy. And at this point you're like, is it the Hunchback? Because the Hunchback tries to kill them.
Yeah.
He drops there's
He
a
pushes
scene.
a stone.
Yeah.
Prior to that scene, there's a scene where they're inside a certain part of the church, and there's all this like satanic kind of decoration and carvings. And I don't know why churches have that shit, but there's a lot of like evil looking
gotta do
statues.
something before the internet.
That's when you get your introduction to the Hunchback. Ron Perlman's character, and he says that word.
What was the word you both kept mentioning?
Penitenziagite.
What does it mean?
It means that the Hunchback undoubtedly was once a heretic.
Oh, penitenziagite.
Yeah, which is of the other sect of people that believed Christ was so poor that they went and killed rich people. We talked about this, but that might have been cut. I don't
Your
know.
Christ was so poor.
Yeah.
How poor was he?
Exactly.
So poor he couldn't even buy the nails to his cross. Whoa! All right.
So you start wondering who is doing these murders. There's the whip himself guy. There's some weird shit going on, and he was actually inhibiting some of the investigation with this with the guy that's upside down in the blood vat.
The guy who died in the blood vat was
translating a book.
He was the guy in that monastery that translated Greek. He was the Greek translator.
The Greek
that was
translator.
Yes.
He was the only one in that church that wasn't, besides Sean Connery, that wasn't too sore on the eyes either.
Yes.
He
No, there's
Adelmo.
there's there's that one and the black monk that is
That's
also
what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that translated the Greek.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
You know?
the younger one that kills himself at the beginning.
Yeah, no,
He's pretty handsome.
Yeah, I guess he had some, shaved head looking, didn't suck. Rub this spot if you want good luck.
Do you think Connery did that at the start of every production? Just want to bless this production. Everyone rub my spot.
Rub my spot while I hit this golf ball.
Hey, now watch this drive.
Hole in one.
Holy one.
Yeah, right? So the plot thickens, it starts getting a little darker, and they discover that, there's no books anywhere. And they discover there must be books in this big tower. So I think this is where it gets kind of cool.
The monastery is known throughout Europe for its huge collection of illuminated manuscripts, and yet you go into the library and there's no books.
But there are books. There's a huge tower
inside of a maze,
and it's a labyrinth. And
that was so cool.
It is cool.
Like a real labyrinth.
I have library labyrinth heart.
Yeah.
In my notes here. It's really trippy.
It reminds me of the Harry Potter like staircase.
It looks like MC Escher a lot.
It's really cool. And there's nothing more scary than, dark dungeony places where you can get lost and there's other people lurking about in there with you, and it was kind of good creepy moments. There's nothing scary really, I would say, in this film except a lot of creepy.
I thought the creepiness was kind of got scary at points. I was spooked.
I'm probably really desensitized.
This and The Offense would have been a good like double feature for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like it could, if we didn't get The Offense for Halloween, we could have had this one, and it would have been a good fit.
I did like how they found each other though. When it's like
with
Master,
the string.
like he's yelling. He's like, I see a light. It's like, how many times is he putting it up and down? Like twice. Yeah, it's me. Like,
it's like people in a parking lot. Like, hey, oh, it's me. Can you see? I'm wearing the blue shirt. Hold on. Can you? No, nope. You're walking the other way.
I think it's so funny how calm Sean Connery's character is in that, and Christian Slater's flipping out because he's like, "We're not alone in here," you know. Like, okay, yeah, there's a light going up twice. That's not me. That's not my light.
I like how he keeps track by like, he puts the string from his robe.
You know,
but I thought it would have been funny.
His robe?
What was that?
Was it his robe? I was like, I think that he just unraveled his undergarment.
Oh my! Well, my bit with this was, wouldn't it be funny if by the end, like, how do we get out of here, master, and he holds up the string, but he's like nude.
Yeah.
Well, I bet Sean Connery his character is very happy that he did that, because he didn't know how he was going to get out of there. We're going to have to read our way out of here. It's like,
and he's
guy
like,
was so excited about books. He's
when you come to a fork, turn left and mark it with an arrow.
Shut up, boy, I'm thinking.
I think I want to start reading
may
here.
I whittle a few of my notes down here?
Yes, please.
On that labyrinth. The editing is quite confusing. I know it's supposed to be a little bit confusing because it's a labyrinth, but some of the, like, okay, they have the book and then someone takes the book and runs away, and it's like, it's very choppy.
There's no rhyme or reason for some of those shots.
Yes.
Except to disorient you
yes.
as a viewer. I believe that is totally why they did that. I mean,
I had realized that, like, the first time I'm like, is this rough editing? But then a few minutes later I realized, like, oh, this is supposed to be disorienting, as disorienting for you as it is for the characters.
Lots of splicing movement with stills and stills of rooms you've seen, rooms you haven't, and you know, like by the end of that, I don't know where they are. You know, I don't know where they're going.
Or showing one thing, but something else is happening.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to my next note. I want to play this scene here. My next note is piss bowl trick. This shot, did anyone think that it was Christian Slater peeing into a bowl?
It looks like it totally looks. But really, it's Connery peeing into a bowl.
He's pissing from across the room.
But he instinctively knows, like, oh, you're looking for the bathroom.
Yes, exactly.
Go
Because the
that way.
previous scene, he was telling him he can use the bathroom.
I love that.
Which also implies that I saw it on the way. I noticed a man ran in quite hurried, and he came out quite relieved. There's only one bathroom in here. That's it. All these dudes in this giant building, one bathroom, and it's a urinal. That's it. No shitting.
Yeah, there are a couple, like,
you shit out the sluice.
that goes to the poor people.
Exactly.
There's a few, like,
I don't think they got all money.
There's a few, like, really weird, like, funny, like, shots here. Like, I sent you the eyeglasses of him looking up and into the camera with his, like, eyes magnified.
And then you sent me a picture of Les Claypool.
He looked like Les Claypool. But, like, just, like, weird little, like, cuts like that to, like, you know, like, just to lighten the mood, I guess. Like, you know, it's not all, like,
there's
religious,
tiny
it'll be
bits of
fun, too.
comedy.
Well,
Yeah. Also, Deuce
The reason he did
There we
that
go.
was
Deuce Sluice.
someone had said something like round glass eyes, and he turned around, and that's where you get the shot where he's just
looking
like
up.
totally gawking at that guy.
He looks so mad.
And
Well,
he waits till the
it's-
guy looks up again. You know?
But it's one of those things that shows the difference between his, you know,
Intellectualism.
intellectualism and the he
Poirot.
uses like you know, devil glass to see clearer.
What else do I have for notes? Piss bowl trick. Okay, 2538. There's a man with a crazy nose.
Slater always looks like he's a
That man. Look at that man's nose.
Wow, the bridge of his nose is so like short.
It's amazing. It's curved.
Which one?
And how short
There's two
his
noses. You're
forehead
talking.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at the bulge on the other side of his forehead. His eye is definitely fucking weird.
Yeah.
If he turns his head just slightly towards us, we are gonna see a droopy face.
Forgive us, sir. Whoever you are, actor, sir.
We're just fascinated by your look, sir. It's
Except
like
that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Was weird.
It's a bumpy Eddie Vedder.
Like,
and of a cast filled with those people,
Eddie Vedder had
that's
a
the
cool
one that
look.
stood out the most to me.
He looked weird.
So much so that I had to take a note of it. A note of this man's nose. Slater's accent. What do we make of Christian Slater's
every time
accent?
he says the word God, I cringe. Sorry.
What's he say? God?
God.
God. My God.
And then you have Sean Connery.
I
who's
want a
God.
chicken sandwich.
And then everyone else
God.
is God. Like,
God, give me a chicken
yeah, there's
sandwich.
A lot of,
I want you to hold the chicken.
it just stands out.
I want you to hold the chicken between your knees.
It's
what? Sorry, that's some Jack Nicholson shit.
I will say Christian Slater's accent is as appropriate for this movie as Kevin Costner's accent was for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Watch, I bet. You guys are going to spin the wheel for us, and I bet we're going to land on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, because it'll be Sean Connery and Christian Slater.
Oh my God, that'd be tremendous.
Dude, that movie. They weren't trying to make a actual like Robin Hood, like historical accurate. They were trying to make a Hollywood like fun picture, like an Errol Flynn, romp. Although Errol Flynn had the correct accent, I'm just saying.
Huh. Well, I'm excited.
Kevin Costner's Chicago Robin Hood.
He didn't have the correct accent. He had that accent that Hollywood all had at that time.
Errol Flynn?
Errol Flynn?
He's Australian. He did the English accent.
Yeah, but it was that
Even in Captain Blood.
transcontinental accent that a lot of the...
Oh, yeah?
They all trained
Is that what you're saying there? Yeah. Yeah.
Does this film remind anybody else of Alien 3?
Oh, wow.
The fact that there's a lot of men,
religious men that are disturbed by the presence of a woman, facing a threat that's basically compared to the devil in their eyes.
I haven't seen Alien 3 in a long time. So
Alien 3 is a really good movie.
I actually watched it recently.
We know that film. Really?
The director's cut, I'm sorry, the assembly cut is the better version.
Okay.
But
I watched it with the kids, and I mean, I remember seeing it in the theater, and that was early David Fincher.
That was his first film, man.
I'm not saying you're painting a broad stroke trying to come, because there are similarities in a sense.
Now, wait a minute. Who directed the fourth Alien movie?
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Not, okay.
So
it wasn't Jean-Jacques Arnaud. No, Jean-Pierre, okay, that guy.
He directed Amelie.
Yes, and he also did City of Lost Children,
yes.
Delicatessen, both with Ron Perlman.
Yes,
and Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman's in Alien Resurrection as well.
Yes.
Which someone said, has Ron Perlman ever given a bad performance? Alien Resurrection. He's great in that movie.
I think he played exactly what he was supposed to do.
It's just a bad role.
It's a bad role. Yes.
But it's a chance to play in an Alien film.
Exactly.
I don't think they were really worried about
Sigourney
the
Weaver
integrity.
and Winona Ryder and anyway, so I've got three more. Well, we just talked about Perlman, so can we talk about how amazing his makeup is?
Oh yeah,
and that's like
Those
between the
that
teeth,
tooth?
the nose, and the hump.
Yeah.
Along with his just incredible performance. So I don't remember if I was reading through the trivia or if I was watching a video about this, but apparently he was given lines the way that Chewbacca is given lines. And he took them and he just chopped them up and translated each fragment and just put it back together.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, the first 3 words French, the second 3 words Spanish, the third 3 words
yeah, it was
Italian.
so crazy because it would show like I always watch everything with subtitles. It was like speaking in multiple languages.
Yes,
and I'm like,
every
I want
time.
to know what he's actually speaking. You know what I mean? Sometimes it would say speaking in French, speaking Italian,
I think
all
it was
that.
6 languages altogether.
Yeah. But it was cool they caught that the subtitles caught multiple languages. And it's like, what an interesting character.
All languages and none. I think he's only speaking 6. That's all the languages there are.
And none.
According to Duolingo.
William McBath.
He's speaking a lot, but it doesn't make any sense. It's all dribble.
Hold on, let me pull up my Duolingo.
I've got babble.
So with the finding the body in the vat of blood, I'm just trying to push the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the Franciscans show up and they're there to argue with the Jesuits and the Pope, the Benedictines, and I don't freaking know.
No
I'm thinking
Jesuits mentioned
that's
here.
Life of Brian. Sorry.
It's the Bene Gesserit, right?
Bene Gesserit.
Yeah.
So they're showing up to argue, and all of a sudden, they're telling Sean Connery his investigation's pretty much over because they've got someone, the Inquisitor.
We'll blame it on Ron Perlman. Simple as that. And
simple as that. We'll bring in the Inquisition
and fuck Abraham Murray, and we'll see what's up.
And because they find
even a reach.
they find the woman and who's not given a name, Rose, right? Is that what we're no?
Oh, the girl?
She has no
a
name.
Rose by any other name.
So they find her and Ron Perlman.
Cabin boy.
He's basically like trading her a dead cat for, right? Is that? He's
she probably got him some shit, right? Or I don't know what was going on right there. There was some sort of like magic,
some kind of
ritual.
exchange that they mistake as voodoo or something like that.
Yeah, because there's a black cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
it's
cat
dead.
is the devil, and
Yeah.
all
Well,
that.
Ron Perlman's character, obviously, in his 6 languages, does have like some sort of like remembrance of his past, or he's definitely into some dark shit or whatever, I mean, he did push a block off a wall and try to crush them as they were walking underneath it. He's got some issues.
I feel like
he's arrested. She's arrested, as is Brother Remigio, who
the guy who
he maintains the stables and
who didn't murder anybody, right?
But he was also a former heretic.
He might have also slept with that girl at one point.
Yes, it was implied that he was the one that provided her with the ox heart for carnal services.
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually
Some
touched
trim.
on the reason for these murders, that it's
yes
about.
Well, that's the reveal.
Is that the no? That's revealed very early on. That
the book is not revealed early on.
That the people are being murdered, and it centers around a book written in Greek that is devoted to comedy.
The comedy, I don't think is really implied until after.
Yes, it is, because he gets into the fight with Jorge in the library,
yeah.
and Jorge's like, that book was never written, and he's like, it's the comedic, like Aristotle wrote this book,
but he had never seen it, and that dude said it was never written.
Yes,
I just saw this movie twice.
You don't put it together that is the book until the end of the movie.
Until the very end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like
there's some implication, possibly, but
that the book contains ideas that don't agree with the church.
When Connery says this book written by the Greek philosopher, when he says that at the end, it clicked to me. Oh, that thing that was referenced earlier but never made like a major plot point.
I'm wrong, though.
It felt more like a reference.
I'm wrong. There is a scene where when he has his glasses out and he gets to look at the pages, and
he sees the book.
Pope is a fox.
Yes.
And the abbot is a monkey.
And the abbot is a monkey, and he's like, this is funny.
Yeah.
And then he gets into the dialogue about humor and humor not being good, and then he goes back over to the desk, and the big
takes the
guy
book.
that whips him, he drops stuff on it.
Yeah.
And he won't let him have it.
And that is the next murder. Is that dude. So basically everyone that comes in contact with this book dies. I mean, that's the twist.
So, and it's revealed that the pages have been coated with a poison substance.
The guy, the monk with one almost clouded eye, he's got one that he can kind of still see out of. He poisoned the pages of this book because he does not believe in humor. He thinks humor is the devil.
I guess I'll just wrap up my notes. I have 2 notes left. Where are the lightsabers? There's a stunning lack of lightsabers in this movie.
Well, lack of action as well. Not too much action.
Well, there's some running in flip-flops, which, if you've ever seen that Jurassic World, running in high heels, I mean, it's the same kind of running in...
Have you ever tried running in flip-flops? It's impossible.
It's not easy. I have. What you got to do is you got to do like a kind of swing to your step, You got to swing and jolly kind of bounce when you run with your flip-flops.
Can you demonstrate that?
Would you like to see?
You're going to have to go that way.
Well...
Not trip on any of the wires.
I won't trip on anything.
You don't have to. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You'll try.
Maybe some mushrooms.
And then my final note is about some of the action in the film. Lee gets the Friday 5 death from Friday the 13th 5. He's killed the same way.
Oh, Abraham.
Fake Jason was killed.
Murray, where he got fucked by the spikes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty violent.
Yeah.
But he falls, he's thrown, and he falls on one of his own, the Inquisition's torture devices, right? Isn't that when he lands on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they show them unpacking, like, all these crazy torture devices.
Yeah. Some were for
We brought the truck.
Some were for cooking.
So yes,
some were for smoking.
the poor, the peasants, rise up.
Yeah, but that's
That
interesting
was
too.
pretty awesome.
That was even slow though. That was even like
They took their time.
They took their damn time. They're just sitting there.
They're not educated enough to realize that was the moment. It had to dawn on them.
They're all looking at each
establishes
other.
that
They all keep walking forward like in a tiptoe, but it's like, let's, you can get there quicker,
Well,
by running.
Well, when Christian Slater looks through the hole in the wall, you literally see one of them eating bugs out of the other's scalp like they're apes. Like they're not intelligent people. So I can't imagine they saw that one. Now is the time for revolution. It probably took them a bit like, oh geez, there's no one around.
You know what though?
We can't attack now.
That's a little naive, on the director's part, because it's not like they're living in caves and painting. They painted on cave walls. I'm saying there was an intelligence, way back.
Yeah.
By the Middle Ages, I mean, they were peasants. Yes, they were poor. Yes, but were they that ignorant? Come on.
I think the showing them eating bugs out of each other's scalp is meant to show that they are. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're right. They painted that picture. I just think it's highly naive to think that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They wouldn't have rushed
unless
after
that
one of their own.
monastery was specifically keeping that village as some sort of pet experiment. What's the bare minimum of intelligence that you can raise a community on?
Yeah, they manipulated them back. They were abused, battered, house children. They look for life. They get our scraps. They give us all their good shit. Of course, it sounds like manipulation to me.
Well, that's how
we
they
might
pay
let
their
you be
rent,
rich in heaven.
right? I mean, you can assume that they're not literate.
Well, they definitely took their time getting the girl off the. But if her hay caught on fire, at that point, I'm sure they would have rushed. But they were just watching. They were kind of entertained by the other dudes burning, maybe, and just kind of But they did revolt. They did, and they took. They were like, "Fuck."
But she was one of their village.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
kind of stood around and watched, Salvatore and Remigio burn, and then they
All right, let's
pitched
see.
in and
Yeah.
were like,
All right. We've seen enough action.
Well, she's essentially the one that's prostituting herself to the monks to bring back meat for their little communities. They don't want her to die.
Her name was Arby.
Arby?
She has the meats.
Arby. She,
Rose Byrne. It was Rose Byrne. Arby.
So the bad people are vanquished. We never really decide whether the church should be poor or rich. The church just was like, fuck it, we're going to be rich.
And Adzo and
Agile.
are like, fuck out of here.
Right? Agile.
Weird. So, that was one of my notes was Adzo in quotes because I must have been thinking about it. It sounds like asshole.
Agile or Agile. Agile would have been a better name for him just because he was kind of wimpy. Gladly pay your Tuesday for a hamburger today. But they go riding off and there's a moment where Christian Slater's character has he has a hard question. Do I follow my Johnson or do I follow Sean Connery?
He should have brought her with.
Yeah, why did he bring her with
the whole time I'm screaming at the screen, go with them. Go.
What would she
They're not
do?
picking
What would she
monkeys out of
be?
each other's.
Should be a distraction to the cloth.
Wait a second. That's why, so they can easily access the bugs.
Oh, the hair.
Makes it easier. Yeah, the hair
That's
gets
why
in the
they
way
shave
of
their
those
hair so that
sweet
the lice can, when they crawl and they feel it crawl over that, you know.
Save me from myself, political member.
What are they? My charcuterie board is full.
I'm so full after eating all these poisoned book pages.
And so
we talking about that?
Yeah, man. So the book is poisoned. The pages have this goo on it, and these motherfuckers are licking their fingers, touching the goo, turning pages, licking their fingers. Yeah.
Well, they also don't shower.
They don't. Not in clean water, anyway. You know. Can you imagine the smell of the mid?
I can imagine that set smelled pretty rank.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at half these movies like that.
I'm sure they were all wearing cologne and shit. Like
all of them are wearing all different colognes, so it smells terrible in an entirely different way.
They call it Shekspampa. Dude, I heard that cologne referenced in a song called Man Funk. And if you haven't heard the song Man Funk, I want you to Spotify Man Funk. I can't remember the guy's name right now. I just discovered this song, and it is a funky jam. And it's about man funk. And at one point, he's got a sex. I think he refers to himself as a sex panther, though. I don't think it's the cologne. I think he's calling himself a sex panther. It's like 70s.
Awards every time.
This is 70s great shit. Anyway.
So that's all of my notes.
I want to say, in the end, like he was a rich man's son. He was the youngest son, so his role was. He was going to be in the church, you know. He wasn't going to take over the estate, and that's what he was doing with Sean Connery, learning, you know, and what he was. Tara says he's going to have a career in the church. So what he was going to give up was his namesake, his future, his everything for the lust, for the, you know, so. He was tempted, and I mean, he turned around twice. But in the end, he went.
He says that he never regretted his decision.
Bullshit.
But he still thinks about her every single day.
Which is not regret.
So
that's regret. That's
definitely longing.
I think about her every day.
It's
no
longing.
regrets, though.
It's longing. Maybe he's happy where he's at. Because, you know, he made the people around him happy. Maybe he was able to make a difference. Who knows? We don't get that part of the story. But we do know that he thinks about her every single day. Is that when he masturbates?
I was
you know what I'm saying?
Someone adds those stories in the corner. What? I'm not regretting anything.
I'm just thinking about potato shacks.
Yeah.
And cold floors. Honestly,
the Virgin Mary's breasts.
Yeah.
Was that not the most
dude, that was pretty
scene?
creepy shit.
Ooh.
That old guy, and he's like really close to him. He's talking about the breasts, and I swear you could tell he's getting turned on. If he didn't leave in a barrel before the Inquisition got there, you know what I'm saying? Like someone was getting fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Not just Abraham Murray. Someone else was getting fucked. That guy was creepy.
Well, I want to touch on this because which also ties in with the state of the world. I feel like this film, this whole story is kind of a statement on the effect of a lack of education and a lack of sexual education, and how that leads to so many bad things down the line, because all of these dudes are so sexually repressed that they're like, I'm so sexually repressed. If you laugh, that's a problem. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but like,
they're ignorant, you know.
I think that's definitely one of the components.
Imagine if it wasn't the Bible and it was like Aesop's fables or something like that. We'd be analyzing the friggin' nature of the lion and mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like there would be, what kind of bullshit and crap would come out of some psychotic. I mean, we live in even today, we live in a crazy world with crazy people that are not educated, that don't have enough conversations, they rely on their own intellect instead of like, be humble. There are smarter people out there. And I think, Sean Connery, maybe his character was,
He's the smartest of them all.
The knowledge. They all pretty much resented him for it, the Franciscans.
The Inquisition would be ready to put him in jail. They were bringing him back to Rome, and they were going to put him in front of the Papal Commission, and
they hate honesty
because he basically said that's not what happened. And they're like, "Oh no, it was the devil. The heretics did it."
He's like, "No, I know what happened."
When Gui is choosing, he's like, I need 2 other people. You and you. And knowing that if you do anything wrong, you're dead.
Exactly.
I don't like you.
We've been here before. You'll do the right thing this time, won't you?
Yeah.
I still.
And he does.
I think one of the religions.
But he regretted it, and he came back with the.
No, with the right thing being speaking up for the truth.
Right, which that's crazy that a human being, okay, can say, well, this is God's opinion, and I am higher in your hierarchy to God, and you're disagreeing with me, and I'm close to God, so you're gonna burn at the stake. Like, I don't know. Well, we live in a different time.
But I think we're seeing the same kind of things now. Like, a fair trial isn't fair when it happens to,
Exactly.
Like Big Orange.
And if you have money and shit like that, you have a different outcome too.
Yeah.
But don't forget that narrative surrounds that side. That the system is completely broken. Nothing is fair. All politicians are corrupt. So.
Well, take the money out of the politics, it would change a little bit. I think. I remember when the Supreme Court ruled that anybody can donate any amount of money to whatever. That's when it really got chaotic and screwed up. But it's always been screwed up. It's always been politics for the rich. It's a life for the rich.
Rules for the
Yep.
Yes.
What would happen if you were, convicted on 34 counts of fraud?
I wouldn't be able to get a job again.
Yeah, you would go to jail too.
You wouldn't be applying for the most prestigious job in running the country.
I'd still be doing Connery Curious though, if you'd have me.
Maybe. Yeah.
Depends on what those felonies were.
Yeah. Well, fraud,
Yeah, but we accept fraud for rich people. They can get away with fraud.
Well, that's I don't know. It's to be determined, I guess.
Anyway, to think that well, in this story, people can be murdered
for comedy.
Laughing.
For laughing.
It's that fascism kind of thing. Like what is it? What is it? Laughing. Oh no! It creates doubt. Doubt is the opposite. Is the enemy of faith.
Yes. And laughing distorts the mouth, so one looks like
a monkey. And I love Sean Connery. He's like monkeys don't laugh.
Monkeys don't laugh.
That's a human thing.
But they do actually.
I'm sure every creature finds something funny. I see my dog with his tongue out, and it looks like he's smiling. He might be laughing. I don't know.
Yes,
oh yeah.
What is this?
During COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big derpy Labrador.
Big black lab.
What's his name?
Norman.
That was my grandfather's name.
That was my grandfather's name.
Look at that.
And my dad's name. And Lana Del Rey has a record, Norman fucking Rockwell. Nice. And she's like, I want to name him Norman fucking Rockwell. And I was like, Norman, sure. It's my dad's and granddad's name. It's nice to have a dog named Norman.
My last record was titled The Norm.
The Norm.
He's on it.
Yeah. The Norm.
Does anybody else have any notes about the film before we get into our ratings? Anything?
I did. Like, I wanted to point out the didgeridoo because I thought there were some really bassy notes.
Did you not listen to this with a? You said you have a sound bar, but you didn't use.
I didn't use the sound bar. It was just the TV. It was vibrating, and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of didgeridoo."
There wasn't a lot of music. In general.
There wasn't. There
like
was
incidentals, some violins here, like strings,
some ominous stuff to
and
push
then like the bells.
narrative.
They weren't bells. Like ding, 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 like the.
Okay, well, I guess we're in our music rating then.
Oh, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's rate this stuff.
All right. Well, then let's get to our rating. Mario, you always introduce the ratings.
Yeah, as you guys know at home, after our discussion of the film, we like to rate everything about this film, starting with the SH we did already. How bad is the SH? We do the sexy rating. I'm assuming it's going to be very high for this one. We also score the musical score of the film itself, and of course the man himself, Sean Connery. So seeing we did the SH already, we'll move on, I guess, to the sexy rating, which we already touched on. It wasn't very sexy. So let's start with you.
As far as the sex appeal of the film in general.
Yeah, we usually rate it with the sex appeal of the film and Connery himself.
Connery could save the sex appeal. I mean, it's 1 through 10.
Yeah.
All right. So if we're talking about like look, design of the set, the art, the surroundings, I mean, I'd have to give this movie a flat 0 as far as sex appeal. But you add Sean Connery in a robe, he looks pretty good. He's going to bring it back up halfway. We're going to give this movie a 5 for my liking.
Okay.
Ooh.
The sex scene.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Maybe a
it's
6.
not.
But I do a 6 for the sex scene. Actually, there was nothing sexy about that scene. Forget it. It's hot.
It really wasn't sexy. It was more.
She was hot, but she's
It
very.
actively turned me off.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I'm gay now.
Yeah. I'm definitely a monk.
So yeah, if we're talking about the whole film, it's definitely cold and smelly, and there's very little
A lot of ugly
sexy
dudes,
anything.
bad haircuts.
But yet feels very authentic.
No
As far
boners
as
in the
Sean
Middle Ages.
Connery, if we're talking about Sean Connery or his character, I'd have to go a lot higher because I love a rebellious intellectual, and I think that's really sexy. So,
Hey, if he had
I'd go
Kitch and
8.
Sweet Ash, I'd go 10. But
I love a smart man questioning the authority.
Okay.
8.
Mario, how about you, bud?
All right. Yeah, me, I'm on the kind of same wavelength with the very dirty looking film. I want to take a shower after watching this movie. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like I've been sweating for with these people in the mud. And but yeah, I think Connery, he looks very good, even with the fucked up hair. Like we always rate his toupee too here and there. No toupee there. It's shaved down the middle and got the long hair in the back.
did you notice that his hair, like towards the end of the film, looked like it was growing? The more dirty his head got, it looked like he actually
it was
had
very
hair coming
long.
in.
His hair was longer at the end.
Like even on top, though, I'm saying it looked like he could have grown a full head of hair.
Yeah, probably.
Shot it.
Yeah, maybe it grows back quickly, I guess. But yeah, so I think that being said, yes, there's nothing really sexy about the film itself. Like Connery looks like $1 million. Like he looked like he actually fucking showered. So I might be on the same page with the 5. So I'm also going to give it a 5.
Okay.
If the movie had a little bit of sex appeal, you know what I'm saying? That 5 would be a lot higher. It's just, Sean, bringing it up to a 5 is pretty big, I'd say. The fact that you got an 8 out of that, I don't see. Okay.
Well,
I guess I still, when I'm really old, and I guess you'll still like me, maybe. Except for the intellectual part, I'm missing.
yeah, you're
that.
gonna have to be real smart.
I'm missing the smarts.
Well, just bring him around a murder he can solve. You commit a murder and then I know exactly how I did it. It'll be easy for me to solve this. That'll really impress her.
Yeah, she killed me. I'll be like, it was you.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I don't think this film is sexy in the slightest, and that affects the whole thing. And Connery is sexy, which does raise the thing up, but it doesn't raise it up into an 8. I mean, Connery is like a 7.5 sexiness, but when you combine that with a 0, it's really hard to.
Wow.
And then the fact that the only sex scene in the movie is with an underage man, boy. So really pulls. We've had negative sexy ratings on this show.
I mean, it's a potentially negative sexy. I think his.
Well, I bet the movie that
his
was only in
character's
13 seconds probably got the negatives.
Yeah, there was no sexy in that.
He wasn't in
Well,
there
it's
long enough.
Memories of Me. It's 8 and a 7. I gave it a
Oh,
7.
okay.
I gave it an 8.
Oh.
Well, the one here's
Well,
the.
Connor did look sexy.
This is the one
in his military outfit.
This is the one with the negatives.
5 days, 1 summer.
Oh yeah, that's like he's like fucking his niece.
Yeah, it's a film about incest.
That's
Yeah.
pretty gross then.
Yeah,
It was like
it's yeah.
It's like a negative 10 because he's 10 sexy, but oh, he's fine.
Well, I gave it a negative 4, and then you're like, it's not right to leave it in the negative, so you gave it a 4 to make it a 0. It's just because I can't give it a 0 out of like moral compass. I gotta go negative on it. That's so wrong. Okay, musical score is our next score.
I could
We were just talking about the musical score.
I'm going to give it a little bit higher. I'm going to give it a 7.5 because of the lack of music, which I really enjoyed. I think that it wasn't called for. Like, there's movies like, I don't know if you saw The Revenant. I would have given that movie like the highest praise in the world if it just got rid of the ominous, like, while he's walking through the, I wanted to hear the wilderness. I wanted to hear the you want to be there.
Well,
And
it was
to be
such a
there, sometimes you just got
big
to have
deal
the
to shoot it all in natural light. Why wouldn't you include
natural sound. Yeah.
You know?
No, I 7.5 based upon when they did do music, it was appropriate. When they did do a sound, it was appropriate, and they left a lot out, which was good.
Yeah, I would say that
Sound quality was pretty good
similar.
too. Like you didn't find yourself turning up and down the TV at all, did you?
No, I didn't.
Like a lot of films, you know.
Thunderball, we were talking about how bad of an issue that was.
Yeah, hearing things when the action happened, it was so fucking.
Yeah, as a sound guy, I have a real issue sometimes with film, especially like action movies. We'll be in the bedroom and it's like we're like 45 on dialogue and then down to 13 on action. It's like that's a big difference.
I was just one of the. I don't know why, but as I was editing, this clip kept coming up of we were talking about that in Thunderball. This goes from a romance scene, and then instantly cuts to a loud parade, and the shot is a dude blowing a trumpet like right at the. And
you're like, whoa!
My cat jumped in the air.
And it wasn't a climax.
No,
it was like boner kill.
Yeah,
seriously.
So, what are you gonna get the score time?
I'd go a little lower, 6.
Yeah.
But again, there isn't a lot there, but it's used appropriately. It lends itself to the cold dirtiness. You know, it's usually the music is there, but it's creepy.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to go on with the descending rating here. I'm going to go down to 5. I think yeah, the silence is really appropriate, but like I just always feel I always look for memorable musical moments in these films.
It wasn't memorable.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing.
You are correct.
Except I can hear
no
the
theme.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
whatever that.
But honest to God, if I don't hate it and it goes pretty much unnoticed for me, then it's job. You know.
Yeah, then you're fine. We covered a movie called Medicine Man.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
in Africa.
I'm just the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
You guys like that film?
I haven't seen
It was in the
30
Amazon,
years or
right? Or
something.
was it in Africa?
Yeah, big point. But like,
It's not bad.
but there was a bit of music that was just very random that I just fell in love with. It was like an earworm, and I gave it a pretty high rating because of that one piece of music. There was like other like really, it was like what, the 80s, 90s? 80s.
This Medicine Man was 92.
92. So it had that very like cheesy 92 like steel drum African, like I feel like the beginning of Ace Ventura or something.
Who was the female in that?
He was a therapist in Lorraine Bracco.
Okay.
Sopranos.
Yeah. So I always like judge by like I want something memorable in the musical score. You know, Bond ones are easy because never a bad tune in those films.
Have you heard a bad opener for a Bond movie?
Like for theme song?
I'm not. That's about writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Spectre. I was never that.
Which one sang it? Who sang
Sam
it?
Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was not a fan of
It's
that.
nothing. It's not a bad song. It's nothing against Sam Smith. It just feels like
about the Billie Eilish?
I like that one.
That one's very good.
Though I will say,
I
it
love
does feel.
Skyfall.
That's like, oh yes,
That's so
Well, the Billie Eilish one, it really feels like the only Bond songs they've ever heard are Skyfall and Writings on the Wall.
Yeah, it even ends like Skyfall.
Yeah.
Can I just say I didn't like Skyfall when I first heard it. I grew to like it. I think after hearing it a lot. Yeah, I did not like it.
Well, that was peak Adele.
My
That was
first-
like right after Rolling in the Deep and something.
I was learning to play it on the piano and following
It's-
YouTube videos. It's great.
It's got that Goldfinger kind of vibe in some of the delivered performance, but some of it's just really dark and minory. And when I heard it the first time, I was like, not at all, not what I expected, and it didn't. But since then, I do like it.
It's one of
it's grown on me.
It's top 5 for sure. I think.
Yeah.
Skyfall.
It's definitely grown on me.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Carly Simon one is up there.
Oh,
For your
I'm
eyes,
not a
for your
vibe
eyes only,
connoisseur,
is
so I can't.
probably one of my favorites.
We've covered it.
That Sheena Easton.
Sheena Easton.
For your eyes only, it's a good one. I have most of the Bond soundtracks on vinyl. I have every Bond soundtrack up to License to Kill. Thunderball's over there.
Wow.
Yeah, those are great. They've done some weird stuff. Like even in the '80s, it got very like aha and stuff.
Yeah, I love the Living Daylights.
Like that's where it changed for like the better. But then like
Living Daylights. Timothy Dalton. I had a real problem with change as a kid. So I really had it. It took me a while to get used to Roger Moore. And then once I got used to Roger Moore, it was like all of a sudden now we've got another guy. And I didn't give him a chance at all. I have to say. Yeah, I
I've
did
probably
not.
said this before on this podcast, but when I was recovering from my vasectomy, I watched The Living Daylights 3 times.
And wasn't it the best? Right, he's so
I love
good.
Living
I don't know what my problem was psychological, I think. It was like, I can't deal with all this new Bond shit. You
I mean,
know?
that's how I felt about Daniel Craig because I grew up a Pierce Brosnan guy. You know,
And that Casino Royale's like the best.
I think Pierce would have been I think he was a great Bond. I think the writing was pretty shitty on some of those
It
films.
was.
It was too like,
the last two were like too old.
Batman suit with nipples. It was
Yeah.
Joel Schumacher or something. It was like, it was too much.
Bond suit with nipples. He's got a nice tuxedo, but it's just kind of nipples on it. Little
Daniel Craig, though, that first outing was brutal. It was so violent and like hard. It was hardcore. I liked that though, the Casino Royale.
Yeah,
that's right. Then it kind of got to more like because that was like your prequel Bond, where it's like he's not really done.
Who's the new one?
They haven't announced it yet, but
probably going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson.
they're leaning on him.
I thought they were leaning on the Superman guy.
They want. That's what I want. It was between him, Henry Cavill, and Daniel Craig originally.
Yeah, Henry Cavill, I think is going to be named.
He lost it to Daniel Craig. He was supposed to be at Casino Royale, but I think
probably for the best.
Dude, it would be
everyone's
such a
saying that-
logical choice to have that.
Yeah, everyone's saying he's too old now, but Roger Moore was like, how old?
Daniel Craig was too old.
I've said this. I think going forward, they should just do a bunch of one-offs. Don't stop trying to define what the franchise is, and just do whatever fucking crazy ideas you have. And for one movie, you hire Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones, Ser Jorah Mormont. Have him be James Bond because he's like all 6 Bond actors put into one. He really is.
He looks like
his
a
dedication to his
beat to shit. Like he looks like an old shoe.
And he could do
He looks like an old shoe you want to throw
He could do the
top
comedy of a Roger Moore movie.
Yeah, and I think it should redo
And but it's faithful in the book.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. Maybe I've said it on the podcast, but there should be in this Ian Glenn Bond. There should be one moment where he's like, or a scene where he's fighting somebody, or an ally of his dies, and he's dying in Bond's arms. You must get to my contact. Gesundheit. You must eat Gesundheit. And then he dies, and now that's Bond's only clue is Gesundheit. And so he walks into another scene. He walks into a room and he sees a woman pouring a drink. And he says, "I'm looking for a Mr. Gesundheit." She says, "Well, you found her." And he goes, "Excuse me." Thank you.
Anyways.
I'm glad you told me that.
Oh, gracious.
How about the little guy in Game of Thrones? Wouldn't he be
Peter
a good
Dinklage
Yeah,
as
he'd be
Bond?
a good Bond. Peter
No,
Dinklage.
Felix Leiter.
Felix Leiter? Oh, honestly.
You wouldn't suspect him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say you could have had him be,
Sappin.
oh, what's his name in Man with the Golden Gun?
Oh, Hervé Villechaize, Nick Nack.
Nick Nack.
No, I would like to see him play James Bond. Holy shit!
I also like the very well because he plays Hervé Villechaize in My Dinner with Hervé. It was an HBO film.
That's right.
He's such a player. You know what I mean? He's so charming, and of course they're gonna want to sleep with him, big or little. It's like
Space Pants. Have you guys seen that sketch?
No, I haven't.
It's a mafia meeting at a restaurant, and then the piano player is like, "Okay, I'm gonna take a break, and we'll bring up a featured act." And it's Peter Dinklage with like this weird wig, and he's got space pants, and he's just doing a song, "Space Pants," and that's the whole song. But this mafia is trying to have a meeting right in front of it.
Space Pants. Begin transmission.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for...
My pants!
Anyway,
I'm gonna go watch that.
it's a good sketch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my musical score for Space Pants is I'm gonna give The Name of the Rose a 7.5.
Oh,
I really liked the music in this. It was
My man.
all right. I thought you were raising your hand with a question.
No. I'm just I'm appreciating your score. Oops.
I think the music is really good for what it is. We've said before that nothing sticks out because I can't hum any of it, but that doesn't mean that it's bad.
No, the fact that it's not memorable is very good.
Yeah.
For the film, it's like
I remember
it fit.
So I don't know. It's about 10 years ago. Some YouTube video came out where somebody was trying to make some snarky point, like hum a theme from a Marvel movie. You can't do it. I was like, well, if you ask any random person off the street, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I could hum anything. You wouldn't know if it was in the film or not.
Yeah.
So the score is not what's important.
And
I mean, we could probably hum the Marvel
It's not-
introduction.
no.
Yeah.
Do, whatever
Yeah.
it is that
Look,
introduces
it's not that it's
Marvel
not
movies,
important.
but
It's there to move. It's
Yeah,
there
it's-
to
Does
feel.
it serve the scene?
I
You
watched.
don't have to take that away from it. It's not everything
but
can
it's
be
not
done.
memorable in the emotional connection.
I watched. My
It
daughter
doesn't make
made me purchase a film, and I'm going to try to. It begins with an A, Antium or something like that. And no, this is a film, and it's about a boy whose dog dies, and the mother's like, that dog went to hell, or something.
All
So
dogs
he-
go to heaven?
No. So him and his sister go into this is like an independent film, and it's a foreign movie, I think, and they did it. They used like beats, like binary beats and different frequencies to promote uneasy feelings and antium or antrium or something like that. And the sister and the brother are going to dig to hell to get the dog out. Like, but all this crazy shit goes down. It's like a scary film. But these beats in this, and literally you feel uneasy in this film. And it has a lot to do with the soundtrack, but it's not that noticeable. But you're told about it, so that's how you know I mean, are they introducing the idea? But it's there. This music, the less you remember, I think the better. I think it's just moving along. Like when something sad happens in a film and the strings start going and you start crying or some shit, you can't help it.
Maybe you have that in this movie. There's a couple sentimental moments.
So we could do a quick recap.
Yeah, let's do a quick recap of our ratings. Let's
covered the book. Shit, that's a lot to fucking go and uncover, right?
I'll pull what audio I can from that camera.
Do you think
be okay.
it got some?
Yeah, I'm sure we got stuff on
we'll
both
be okay.
cams. Yeah. We've done that in the past where we've lost footage and we recovered it on the camera.
We'll make do. We'll figure it out. I'm just gonna keep going back and checking every couple of minutes now.
Well, listen, if we have to do another taping, we can at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like we could do like a makeup on a.
Well, you guys are always welcome for another episode.
Saturday morning or something.
No, I'll make do with the edit of this.
Let's try to get through the ratings
Let's recap the ratings here in case we missed any of that. So our average SH rating is a 6.75. Our average sexy rating is a 5. Our average musical score is a 6.5. That brings us to our film rating. Let's do our film rating.
The film itself.
You guys want to go first, and I'll sporadically check to make sure we're still recording.
Oh, I love this movie, so I would say 9.
9.
Wow, look at that. Okay.
Movie.
She does.
All right.
When she asked me to watch this movie, I was very, I kind of didn't want to, and she was gung ho. I know she loves this film. 9, and watching it with Tara, I also loved it. It took me a minute. But yes, the film is fucking great, and I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Alrighty.
Now, what's funny is the guy who wrote the book said that this is it was his lamest. He's written 6 novels, Umberto Eco, and he said that this was his lamest novel.
Really?
And it wasn't until I think the 90s that he was like, yeah, the film's pretty good, actually.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was very intrigued because when me and Dylan talked on the phone, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we're doing this episode coming up, and it's kind of their movie that they watch together. I'm like, really? I'm like, it's like, when we watch it, I'm like, interesting choice to be like the kind of couple movie that you guys kind of go back to.
It's not really a couple movie, but
it's just like
get stoned.
But it's something you guys both kind of like enjoy.
Shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I said that because I saw you at the Pump House, but you weren't there. And I was talking about the podcast, and you brought up the name of the rose. You're like, oh, Tara loves that movie. So when you brought that up, my thought went, oh, it's like they enjoy watching it together. So
it's okay.
But no, he meant you enjoy watching it.
No, but I do enjoy watching it with her. We've seen it. We've watched it twice, probably.
Yeah, I think when we first maybe started dating, you watched. I brought my dowry of DVDs was very small, and this was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I've got like 2,000 DVDs. And
I've been to your house.
Yeah.
800.
Last time I counted, it was 800.
Oh, wow.
Amity took a lot of them.
Keep them forever. I still have a storage unit filled with them.
Yeah, dude, I have. A lot of them are sentimental. So a lot of my films that I grew up with, or things that I really like, because I've weeded them out. You know, I've gotten rid of some of the fluff. But every single time I go up to this film collection, it's like I really couldn't I couldn't take one away. I don't think.
Yeah, there's so many. I pride myself on. I found out, like, I went through my storage unit and I found all the DVDs. There's older movies, new movies, and I looked through. I have the entire like Infinity Saga for Marvel, like from Captain America, Iron Man to Endgame. And I was like, if we ever lose like this on Disney Plus, I have the collection.
Digital, yeah.
I have everything right there. You know what I mean? Because
I own all those films digitally. I do have some on Blu-ray.
Yeah, because they're starting to do that with the Disney Plus shows. They're starting to put them on DVD now.
HBO is removing its own content.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Very
Just
strange.
put it all
it's
up
like,
there.
Okay, we got you for $15 a month now.
Yeah,
but we're gonna pull some.
But you can't watch The Dark Knight anymore or whatever. It's like it's silly. But
also for the audience, I apologize that I keep getting up and checking.
Oh, it's all right.
Just want to.
No problem.
No, yeah,
so
it's all right. Nobody's watching this.
Me for the film. We're on me for the film.
Oh, okay. What's your rating?
Yeah. So yeah, I did enjoy this. I thought it was quite the surprise. I just didn't know what to expect. All I know was like monks, Connery, and
roses,
whatever. I didn't expect there to be like a whole like detective thing going on in this.
I wonder what you would have felt had you seen the sex scene though.
I think I might rewatch it and see the regular cut now, just to see if it changes it. Because I mean, I did kind of fall off there because I'm
it gives you context.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like it's like you just see him laying naked, and you're like, okay, we don't know what happened there.
Why do
and
you
then
want to
she shows
save her
up
so badly?
And she shows up at the end, and then like he's conflicted on whether to go with his master or her. I'm like, but we don't even know if they even like know each other. You know what I mean? But so I think
except that they saw each other, and then he woke up naked. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would wonder if my score would change. I'm giving it a solid 6. I'm like, it's good, but it's like I feel like I need more context. It might go up to a 7 or 8 if I watch the full thing with everything there, because I mean, like just
she has lovely breasts.
She does.
Sure,
and a nice
we
butt.
we still see that
Very
when they
nice
rip off
butt.
her shirt at one point, but like
you don't see him like this though.
You see her whole. Yeah, it's whatever.
So all right, so does it get a different sexy rating if you? throw that scene in? Just her sexiness?
It's so funny because
No.
no. But like
But she's hot.
there's awkward like there's
She's hot.
awkward character stuff that goes.
It's like a teen movie. Like it's just kind of like
she's hot, but then you see
he
them
doesn't know what he's
looking
doing,
for
and
lights.
she's
You know?
like advancing on him, and yet she doesn't say anything. Like she's kind of
Yeah, it's very like silent movie.
It's very-
He's like
fucking-
fumbling with the condom.
Yeah.
Oh, I put it on upside. Oh, I don't have another one.
Unlacing the burlap.
Yeah. The
No,
sheep's,
really, it's in
sheep's
that
guts.
scene.
Wait, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, where she like
Parting the-
unlaces his burlap. His
Oh my
mantle
God.
and stuff.
That's a sentence I didn't think I'd hear today. Unlace the burlap.
Well, I'll have to rewatch that and see if my score changes and all, and I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
When you're all I gave it a 9 when I was all bricked up. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Ooh, okay.
I liked it a lot. Actually, you know what, Chris? I'm gonna match you with a 7.5.
Woo.
I liked it a lot.
It's a good
There
movie.
was some good spooks.
Some good spooks.
Some
Sean Connery's delightful.
Yeah. I
You
got
know?
to see James Bond kiss one of his villains.
Crazy.
Right?
Crazy to see.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about this film. It was a fun.
Dude gets
Now,
impaled on
does
his
it
own
make you want
machines.
to read the book?
I'll listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
feel the
years,
same
I've
way.
thought, oh, do I want to read the book? I'm like, no, the book will be boring.
Do you think it will be?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
If they could
Absolutely.
make this story not boring, exactly like monks, monastery.
Yeah, spending
like,
days reading.
illuminated manuscripts.
Well, that's why I would do the audiobook.
Yeah.
Put
This
it at
robe really chafes.
1.25.
I mean,
She unlaced my burlap.
She unlaced my burlap.
Yeah, I kind of like to.
As
read
the
that
unlaced burlap hit the ground,
It went over my head.
its laces were unlaced upon its burlappiness. Okay. Let's move on to our final rating.
Final one, the man himself,
The Sean rating. So
Sean Connery.
the way we usually do this is some combination of how much you enjoyed his performance with how much of a shit he's given into the role. Like, is he putting his effort into the role? Is he giving it his all? Is he a good fit for the role? Because we've had movies where he's not a good fit for the role he's in.
You know his effort though. It's similar on every film. I need to go play golf.
Well, I'll start on this one. I'm going to give him a 9.
Ooh, okay.
I thought he was great in this movie.
Sure.
I'd go with you.
Yeah?
8, 9. I did read that Robert De Niro was highly considered for the role, but the director flipped it, dismissed
role?
him because he insisted that he wanted a sword fight at the end between William of Baskerville and Bernardo Guidi. Now, would Robert De Niro have done a better job? Absolutely not. So Sean Connery is the definite.
That would have been so different.
I would be pretty
Right?
amazed if could you imagine a De Niro?
Like these books you're talking about?
Exactly.
These fucking books?
You got to wear a glove to touch that book.
I'll fucking kill you with this book.
No, I thought his quirkiness and
Not even
I
the
think he
poison. I'll
was-
just beat you with it.
I thought Sean Connery really threw himself in. Pretty,
Yeah, he's very like almost
Dude.
mystical.
Sean Connery in this movie, Sean Connery bringing Sean Connery to the role of this monk, 10. All
Really?
Day. All day.
Hot diggity.
All day. I'd probably give Sean Connery a 10 on most of his films because he's forever,
if you joined us on this podcast, I don't think you would.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure I'd see
For
a lot
example,
of shit.
here, let's go down to...
Sir, the Avengers?
Yeah.
You guys didn't like him in the Avengers?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, he's kind of a piece of shit in there.
Yeah,
I
that's-
like him in the bear suit though.
No,
Yeah.
he's a total piece of shit, but he's great.
Well, when a
He's the
character
bad guy.
when a character tries to rape another character, it takes a little bit away from his performance. I know that's like a villainous act, but it makes me like Sean Connery less when we're doing a
But it's not
podcast.
Sean Connery.
I know.
It's the act. He's
But
pretending.
he still had to read a script and be like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
I want to do that. Yeah.
It's always a first time for everything.
I was just saying Sean Connery. I wasn't.
He's never
being
slapped
me.
a dog.
You know.
Any Hoosers.
Anyways, Mario, what are you gonna give Sean in this film?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be right in the middle. 9.5.
Okay.
I think he's tremendous in this.
I thought you were about to say 5.
But
Right in the middle, 5.
5. Yeah, he's great in this. If anything, yeah, like I can't picture De Niro doing it. I can't picture anyone else doing it because I feel like it might tarnish the quality. I feel like him. He always gives us a stoic performance, which I feel like I always bring up. Just the way his delivery is, and like his face contorts a certain way. There's everything about him is so stoic and somewhat mystical. So like, yeah, I really enjoy him in this, man, because I feel like I'd be kind of a little more turned off by this film if it was somebody else. But the fact it was Connery kept me engaged. Every scene he's in, he's just eating scenery. He's just like, it's all about him, He's tremendous in this. So yeah, nice solid 9.5 right there.
There's one actor that could have done this movie. Leslie Nielsen. But it would have become a comedy right away.
And that him with the glasses?
Oh,
right?
It would have been crazy.
He would have Mr. Magudas.
He would have been wearing the glasses the whole time.
Well, I don't know.
And the gag would be that he pulls the glasses down, but it's like a Swiss Army knife, and he like.
Yeah.
and another one would be like an optician's like eye test thing.
Oh yeah.
The big headpiece.
Yeah.
He was a serious actor at one point. I wonder.
There is a movie we covered that Leslie Nielsen's in. He's not funny at all.
Right.
Wrong is right.
And what did we give that? We gave that some good rating.
We love that movie.
Good
Yeah.
ratings. 10. We both gave it a 10.
Yeah, we love that movie.
We gave Sean a 10. We gave the movie a 9 and an 8.5.
Still, yeah.
Still good.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen's not that funny in that movie
At all, but we look at it and we're like, we're waiting. Like that scene, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
And there's like
he's laughing.
The way that it's framed is like he's at the
it's one of those cross shots.
And he's like, there's a big bay window behind him and like nothing really happening, but you're expecting like someone like a clown on fire to run by or something. Like you're expecting
naked gun gags.
Yeah, you need to have something funny happen around him, but nothing now. But that's the only time I've ever seen Leslie Nielsen like serious. It was in that film. So
that and Forbidden Planet.
Oh yeah, Forbidden Planet. Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's recap our ratings one more time.
Let's
our
do it.
average SH is a 6.75. It's somewhat there. It's starting to thicken up as he gets into his age.
Yes.
Our average sexy rating is a 5. You guys thought it was sexier than I did. Our average musical score is a 6.5. It's not a bad score. Our average film rating is a 7.5. Are we coming back to this film again, guys?
Well, I'm definitely coming back to see the sex scene.
Oh yeah.
Because now I'm just curious.
We'll watch it again. For
Okay.
Sure.
And our average Sean rating is a 9.38? Is that what that is?
Yeah, 3.8.
9.38. Damn, he's pretty good in this movie. And we do we add all those averages together and multiply them by 2 for our total Sean rating, which is a 70.25.
Or 2.5.
Look at that.
Nice.
That's a whole lot of Sean.
Indeed.
We love it.
Did you just do that math in your head?
No, I have my phone.
Oh, okay.
Just calculating it all right
So
there.
70.25 that's a decent Sean rating.
It's a very good Sean rating.
And that factors everything into account. So at the end, if somebody wanted to say or wanted to ask us what's the best, most iconic Sean Connery movie, we can definitively give them a rating. And it looks like Highlander's up there.
Yeah, we got a couple
Yeah,
high
I'm
ones.
looking at these scores now. If he has a death scene, does that go up? Right? He has a death scene in The Untouchables. I feel like that can make or break an actor.
Well, it depends on the death scene. Like
we used to keep track of it, like of him dying, because we used to have it because we always have.
He dies in the first 4 movies we watch.
Yeah, because we tried to give a timestamp of when we first see him, and if he dies, we give a timestamp when he dies. And he hasn't died in a while, but
first 4 films in a row we did was
he died. Yeah.
Man Who Would Be King.
Yeah.
First Night. Sword of the
Banner
Valiant.
King. Oh my
That was a great movie.
That's one of our favorites.
I think I watched that with my father when I was like 9 years old.
Him and Michael Caine, like they're best
Michael
buds.
Caine.
Such
so
a good
like
film.
you can tell they're friends by watching that movie. It's a good buddy movie, I think.
And then The Avengers
And The
was
Avengers,
number 4.
yeah.
So all 4 of our first 4 films, he dies.
Yeah.
So.
But all right, so with that being said, we've finally gotten through the whole gimmick here. But one more thing before we go.
Check the recording.
Check
You
the
got
recording,
it.
for God's sakes. And while you're doing that, I'll...
And you know what? Maybe a Connor P?
If you want, sure.
2-minute Connor P real quick?
Sure.
Okay,
Go for
cool.
it.
1 second.
There we go. All right, guys, we got through all the ratings, which only means one more thing. We're going to be going down to wheelofnames.com to spin the Wheel of Curiosities to figure out what movie we're covering next week. And we figured as the guest of the show, we're going to have you guys spin the wheel. Are you guys down for that?
I think
very
we are.
important thing.
I had to adjust my mic
Yeah,
stand.
Dylan's going to get you guys set up here.
Okay, so let's... usually what we do is we take a look at our wheel, if I can find the mouse here, and we see what we have left for films, which isn't much.
Look at those
we
dogs
got
fighting in the corner.
Some that are still on here.
It's so weird to see how like the panels used to be so small you could barely read the title on them, and now they're like just big pieces of pizza.
Do we have anything else on here that we've seen already? I think that's it.
I think we're good. Highlander 2, we did not see yet. Yeah, it looked good.
That looks good. Okay. Anything you want to see next, Mario?
I'm honestly just excited to see Red October. We're waiting for that for a very long time. And someone was mentioning Prince of Thieves. I'm kind of excited to see that as well.
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits.
Oh, and Time Bandits is good too.
I really want Time Bandits because of the guest we have lined up for that.
Okay.
If they're still down. I really want Highlander too because of the guest we have for that. If they're still down.
And I just want to see how it continues. 'Cause after Highlander 1, I'm like, where can we go?
I'm looking
after
forward to that known train wreck.
Yeah.
And knowing the fate of this podcast, the sense of fate that surrounds this podcast, we'll probably get Prince of Thieves because it's Connery and Christian Slater again.
Let's see.
So every time before we start, is there anything you guys would want to see next on that list? Of be like, well, for listening to
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits, yeah.
Oh. I'm looking at all the ones I've never seen, you know. Oh, Entrapment, isn't that the Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yes.
All right, so that was one of his
You
like
know you
90s.
want to see that. Oh yeah, Catherine.
Oh baby.
How does she
Lilacs
fit
in the
into that
spring.
suit?
That is his first film. We were talking about Errol Flynn earlier. That's an Errol Flynn film, Lilacs in the Spring, and Connery is an extra, uncredited extra in that film, and it's his first film.
So we're not even sure how we're going to be covering that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the same way as Memories is Me, where we're just talking about a movie.
I mean, the game's going to be, can we notice him in the background,
Yeah, right.
you know? He's like working on like a painting something or something. I don't know.
He walks
Does he
by
have any
once.
dialogue?
I don't think so.
I'm guessing
I think
not.
he's
Uncredited
like an
extra.
extra, so he's just like in the background.
So I gotta spin this over here.
No, I'm gonna bring it to you guys. That works because I got to just check the recording. Okay.
There we go.
So every time before we do this, we just shuffle, and Mario lets me know when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Who wants to spin it?
You guys can like both click it together.
You can both push the button.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of put it in between them and just have them like.
Don't push it yet. Whatever you do, it's ready to go. It's primed. Don't push the trigger.
Oh wait.
Okay.
Make sure the cursor's over his face.
It is. Oh wait, actually, yep. Move the cursor over to Sean Connery's face there.
I can't even see the Oh, there it is. Okay.
Perfect.
Down
Chris,
a little
can you
bit.
do it? I can't see where it is.
Down.
I can't see where it is.
It's at the top of the front. There you go.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
You're on it. You're good.
There we go.
There we
Yep.
go. Okay.
Right on his little nose.
Right on his nose.
All right. So don't click it yet. What we do, we do a little chant to summon the good vibes of the wheel,
Yep.
which is filled with Connery's blood, apparently.
Shugga, ball. No, sorry. What is it?
Kris and Tara Hansen.
Yes.
Are you ready to
Yes.
spin the
Wheel
of
Just Cause.
So
Who's in that one?
Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne, I believe.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Larry. Larry Fishburne.
All right.
I believe. Let me double check.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery, I think.
1995.
Ooh, 90s Connery. We love our 90s
yeah.
Connery.
Yep, Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne.
Hell yeah. That's going to be dope.
Cool.
Two serious sets of eyes.
Yeah, look
looking at you.
My
Looking
picture's
at you,
bigger on the poster
killer.
because I'm older.
I have a good feeling about this.
Me too. We usually have fun with the 90s Connerys. We liked, what's that one with
Rising
him?
Sun.
Rising Sun's very fun.
Wesley
That was
Snipes.
very good.
That's
Wesley
Japan,
Snipes.
where there's someone
Yeah, him
murdered in
and,
the boardroom.
Yeah, and
Wesley
it's
Snipes.
it's another like sexual murder situation
Yeah.
because it was like autoerotic asphyxiation or something
Yeah.
that kills her.
Sexual chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the Rock is 90s, right?
Yes.
I love The Rock. The Rock is really good.
That was a good
That's
one.
a dope
Very
one.
classic Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Some Nick Cage.
Yeah, and that's like typically we talked about it. There's a sort of fan theory that he's James Bond in that movie, but he's undercover.
Like retired.
Yeah, like he changed his name or something.
That like the realistic thing would be that like the double O's would be discarded. Like they wouldn't. You'd think they'd get like a nice retirement package or something, but the reality is like these guys know way too much. Throw them in a hole for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
I think, and that's the plot of The Rock is that he had literally like a drive full of information or something for who killed JFK or something like that.
Yeah, a bunch of information.
So it was the spy knows too much, throw him in a hole situation.
But you're watching, you just gotta pretend that he's James Bond. It's like, ooh, it's kind of like better than Never Say Never Again. Like, geez, like so I'm saying, if he looked like that and Never Say Never Again, I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, it's too much of a middle ground where he's like, he just looks plain.
Yeah,
and in that he looks bad. Also, quick aside on Never Say Never Again because of that. We probably brought this up while recording the podcast, but thanks to that movie, I now have like 3 different quotes of Sean Connery saying Nicole, so I can just use that to prank Nicole.
Nicole.
So.
But anyways, next week Sean Connery will return in Just Cause. Anything else you have to add here?
Hansons, what do you guys got to promote? Any new music? Did we fail to mention that the Hansons are very talented musicians? I think we failed to mention that.
I think we failed. We'll mention it now.
Do some promoting.
We just put out a covers record.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an EP. There's maybe 5 songs. I paid for the licensing to put out Beach Boys, Beatles, Cure, and Randy Newman and Mark Cutler songs.
What Beach Boys and Beatles song?
God Only Knows.
Nice.
The Beatles song is Hey Bulldog.
Nice.
Which I had recorded previously, but
yeah, you guys, I've heard
didn't
you play
have
that.
licensing. And then the Cure, Close to Me, Randy Newman's Living Without You, and Mark Cutler's Can't Give It Away.
Nice.
And then I have a record of ballads that it's on Bandcamp right now, but which would be Kris Hansen's Viking Jesus at bandcamp.com. But it's going on Spotify and CD Baby and everywhere on June 22nd, which is my birthday.
Nice.
Ooh.
And we recorded a Christmas song and some other stuff. There's probably a new album in the works, and maybe our band will get off its ass and start playing shows again. We lost our drummer 2 years ago.
Rest
and
in
we
peace, Nick.
Really haven't been eager to go out or do anything other than maybe record a little bit and play some acoustic shows. It's been hard to light the fire again. It was kind of like a Led Zeppelin
Hard to
thing.
replace a member of a band.
Always,
yeah.
He was an
It's
icon.
like, oh, Led Zeppelin. That's it. No more Led Zeppelin. John Bonham died. It's kind of weird.
It is weird, but we will be coming back for sure.
I hope so.
We're old too. Yeah.
Hey, so do Stones. They just played Gillette a couple days ago and sold it
we're
out.
much younger than the Stones.
Yeah.
How about you, Tara? Anything to promote?
No.
I mean, that's us.
Yeah, I mean, that's us,
we
pretty
play in
much.
the band.
If I ever get, I have some songs I've written myself, and at some point we're going to orchestrate them and record them.
You're also in between some stuff. You might be doing some styling or some stuff down the line.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Tara's got her radar on.
Yes, working with I'm a huge
Collector.
enthusiast of vintage clothing and secondhand.
Ooh.
Yes, I would like to get into doing some fun styling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
I dig it.
Nice,
If I may be so shameless as a music producer, feel free to reach out if you guys need help working on any of your tunes.
Okay.
We are sitting in a music studio.
Heck yeah.
It's really cool in here too, folks.
Except not right now because it's really warm in here.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I know that fire.
Should turn the
chilling.
fireplace off. That's the issue. But yeah, we'll have links to all that stuff in the cards below here on YouTube and all that.
Everybody check out Viking Jesus and all that good stuff. I've been looking at you guys and not right at the camera when I usually we'll look right at the camera.
It's so far away this time around, so
Yeah.
I forget it's there sometimes.
I've been looking at you guys too.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be odd from that, like being. If you watch the show, it feels like you're watching the show live.
Yeah.
Sitting there, you know. What I mean? It is usually what it looks like right from here.
Yeah.
So that's really funny. But anyways, yeah. So that's gonna wrap it up for us here at Connery Curious. We'll be back next week with Just Cause. And so will we. Until then, I've been Mario Lima.
And I've been Dylan Titus. And as always, folks,
stay curious. Yes. There we go.
Shuck
we made
my
it.
balls.
Shuck my balls. You've been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Friggin' Nerds Media podcast. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Connery Curious for updates, memes, and episode clips. You can also visit Dylan on Instagram at Titus Compositions to hear other podcasts and original music, watch music videos, or even pick up a great vinyl record. For more discussion about your favorite films, comics, and games, and a network for all things nerdy, visit me, Mario, at Friggin' Nerds Media. You can rate, review, and share the podcast in-app, which helps us grow the show and reach other curious Connerys out there. Thanks for spending time with us. Have a great day, and remember, stay curious.